The story begins with the Swordmaster's youngest son, a title that hints at destiny. They ruled the world with overwhelming combat prowess. Blades clash in a flurry of motion and murderous intent. To conquer is their obsession, a warrior standing above all. To control their desire. The Rungkandle family's power is absolute. He declares, "That's the family I was born into. I'm Jin Rungkandle." During the selection ceremony, Jin chose the sword of the family head. He proclaims himself, "I'm the one who will become the head." With newfound confidence, he believed his path would be paved with success, but things would soon take a turn. But reality struck harder than any blade, the window of his hopes shattered. Does that even make sense? I had zero talent in swordsmanship. Someone calls out to Jin as he continues practicing with a wooden sword. His brothers mock his efforts. His brothers look down on Jin's pathetic training. They mock him, wondering why he's using a wooden sword. One of his brothers loudly asks if he's questioning their strength. They clearly mock Jin's weak efforts. Jin coughs up blood, beaten and bruised. He hears someone say, "What a useless bastard." Someone asks Jin why he's even swinging his sword. Another mocks, saying it's useless anyway. He struggles to breathe. Below his brothers mock him. "Haha, what's this?" Jin reads basic swordsmanship theory. His brother scoffs, wondering if he'll get stronger just by reading. His brother declares the useless should never be given chances. Jin shouts to give it back. Despite all the mockery and beatings, Jin reaches out. "And keep holding on to hope," a voice cries out. Jin shouts back in defiance, "You didn't need to do that." His brother retorts, "What did you say?" One brother asks if his nanny taught him to defy them. Jin glares back. Jin endures his brother's relentless bullying and mockery of his non-existent talent. Despite the pain, Jin forces himself to continue training. "I just need to work hard." But it was Jin Rungkandle who was banished. From this moment, you are banished from the family. Banished from his family, Jin stands before the Rungkandle gate, taking one last look. He sighs, a mixture of regret and determination in his eyes. A fist clenches, a threat hangs in the air. "Since your efforts are commendable, we won't kill you." But around the time of his banishment, Jin met someone important, a master. After the banishment and meeting the master, he finally understood, "I did have talent." He realized he had talent for magic. Magic, a forbidden art within the Rungkandle family. 3 years later, Jin learns to connect with nature's mana. He starts down the path to recover and strengthen his own. 3 years after his banishment, Jin feels a surge of power. "What is this?" he exclaims, surprised. Suddenly, shadowy figures surround Jin. He trembles, overwhelmed by a mysterious, dark energy. A voice echoes seemingly from nowhere as Jin wonders, "Who are you?" A figure looms over him. It declares itself, "I'm Goldorit, the master of all shadows." Goldorit continues, "I'll propose a contract to you as the god of shadows." Goldorit tempts Jin with the power of shadows. He adds that Jin would also be able to negate all curses. Goldorit is surprised, noticing Jin's chains. He reveals Jin's talent was stolen due to a past curse from his youth. Goldorit confirms it's the Bladed Illusion, a curse that suppresses swordsmanship talent. A fiery symbol chained up appears. Goldorit states that he understands why he was drawn to Jin's presence. No curses can harm Jin anymore. With the curse broken, a new path opens for Jin. All that's left is for you to become an extraordinary magic swordsman. Goldorit watches Jin as he recovers his stolen talent, stating, "I will have fun observing you." With his talent unsealed, Jin grips a real sword for the first time in years. As Goldorit said, Jin's talent begins to bloom. A real sword now feels like an extension of his own arm. As Jin swings the sword, his eyes widen with surprise. "It's so light," he exclaims. Now wielding his sword, Jin realizes, "If I just add on magic then." He infuses magic into his sword. Blue energy crackles around the blade as Jin smiles confidently. Jin smiles, finally feeling the power he's gained. He believes that his hard work has paid off. But suddenly Jin collapses, bloodied and bruised once more. Were the brothers still stronger than him? A distant scream echoes as Jin feels heavy. He lies bloodied and unmoving on the ground. Jin, bloodied and confused, wonders what happened. He faintly calls out, "Master," so dare it. Lying in a pool of blood, Jin wonders if someone is there. I can't believe I died while sleeping. Before death takes him, Jin wonders if he'll ever use his newfound powers. He asks if this is all he will become. A shattered landscape filled with blood surrounds Jin. He wonders, why was I given a chance? He sees his family members and realizes where he is. What's happening right now? I definitely died though. Suddenly Gilly appears smiling. Jin wonders why Gilly is here with him. A voice declares that sword is Barasada. Jin gasps, reacting to the revelation. But before Jin could process what happened, he finds himself at the selection ceremony. Jin finds himself back as a baby. He realizes, I've returned to the past. The youngest young master reaches for the family head's sword. A collective murmur rises from the crowd. Little Jin reaches for the family head's sword. In this life I will make my own choice. The Swordmaster's youngest son begins his story, shrouded in both light and shadow. Whispers erupt through the crowd as they exclaim, the youngest selected Barasada. All eyes are on Jin Rungkandle. The selection ceremony concludes, as many move to push Jin, the youngest, off the stage. 6 years pass. Storm Castle awaits Jin Rungkandle, a formidable and daunting challenge. Jin's hand stretches, fingers barely grazing the desired book. I can't reach it, he says, realizing 6 years have passed. Since I came to the Storm Castle, Jin struggles, reaching for a book on the top shelf. He only has 3 years left. Frustrated, Jin closes the book in his hands. Suddenly, a loud kayak echoes in the castle hall. A startled maid asks Jin what's wrong, revealing a gruesome discovery. A dead bird lies in his room. Jin realizes the only ones who do this are, he sighs deeply. Man, oh man, poor bird, the maid replies. Daytona Rungkandle, the 11th brother, grins, admitting to setting a trap. True, we put that there for you to see. Haytona Rungkandle, the 12th son, mocks Jin. How's our gift? Are you moved to tears? Jin recalls those two. I know they become notorious murderers. Two brothers grin sadistically. Don't actually cry though, that'd be annoying. Jin is silent as his brothers mock him. Hey, can you hear us? They ask. They question whether the future patriarch even notices them. Where did you leave your Barasada? Daytona's sinister grin widens as he demands, what? Say that again. He grabs Jin by the collar, ready to intimidate him further. You're so quiet I can't even hear you. Jin's hand clenches in anger. I said. A wave of immense power erupts around him. Shut Yahello. Shadows erupt from Jin's hand as his eyes glow with intense power. Daytona is blasted back by the force of Jin's outburst. You dare, he questions. Jin strikes Daytona with a blinding flash of speed. I've been holding it in until now. But I can't take it anymore. Jin collapses, exhausted from the barrage of torment. From now on. Jin warns, you'd best stay out of my sight as much as possible. An attendant rushes in, asking what's happening. Someone calls out for help, shouting, Khan. The attendant is shocked. Young Master Jin, what in the world? The attendant, Khan, is confused as Jin is silent. One of the brothers asks if Jin didn't hear them. An elder Rungkandle says, as expected of a Rungkandle, even a child is fierce. I see. He tells Khan to bring them somewhere. The elder signals Khan to guide Jin elsewhere. Follow me. As Jin walks away, a torrential downpour begins. He seems lost in thought, head down. Under the heavy rain, Jin and Daytona lie unconscious by a large tree. An unknown man asks, are you going to just leave them here? He warns, the rainstorm is going to get stronger soon. As the rain intensifies, a mysterious figure looks on, thinking, they need to be aware of what they've done. What will happen to Jin now? A figure stands amidst the rain. By your order, young master. The unknown man watches over the two unconscious bodies, admitting, that force. It definitely wasn't aura. A glow emanates from his hand. Jin realizes it can't be mana. If so, this is more than sibling rivalry. A figure thinks, I must report this to the patriarch. He orders a knight, bring me a horse. The knight approaches the elder with a horse outside. By your orders, the knight says, awaiting further commands. Jin realizes Khan is on his way to report to the patriarch, even though he is our guardian knight. Jin thinks that must have looked like magic to Khan. He won't just leave it be. He shows off his shadow energy. Thanks to his power, Jin knows his contract with Solderit is still valid, granting him curse immunity. Jin thinks I was able to avoid the bladed illusion. The old Jin Rungkandle is no more, from now on things will change. Jin smirks slightly, anticipating what's to come. What's left now is meeting father. He shouts to assemble the flag bearers. He declares, I'll have to go see the youngest. The knight and his horse gallop swiftly towards the patriarch. The elder's orders must be carried out. The elder smiles as he hears that the 7 flag bearers of Rungkandle and 200 knights have assembled. He mutters, good. Another elder observes the situation from afar. He recognizes the Rungkandle brothers' rivalry and their growing pains. He knows this is just the start. As the story flashes back, Jin recalls his time being sent to the Storm Castle. Let's go to the Storm Castle. Here is Jin Rungkandle, the Swordmaster's youngest son, in all his glory. The story of the Swordmaster's youngest son continues with a mysterious start. The Rungkandle banner is raised, signaling an unexpected assembly. One member asks Brother Diffus, do you know anything about this? Mary Rungkandle, the 7th flag bearer, says she was busy beating up mages. She doubts it's about the Tona twins and wonders if it's Jin. Diffus Rungkandle, the 4th flag bearer, remembers the young boy. Ah, right, he chose the founder's sword. The man in fur says they will never know what the patriarch is thinking. Luna calls out Mary and Diffus, then apologizes. Luna thinks to herself, Father personally came back to see him. Is he really that useful? A maid wonders if the patriarch is coming to see them all. It seems Khan has been reporting to the patriarch. Jin is getting ready and wonders if Khan told his father about him using magic. The maid asks Jin to turn around. The maid brushes Jin's hair, wondering what power he has that isn't magic or aura. She thinks the patriarch came back for that. A booming voice proclaims Jin could be an asset for the future and prosperity of the clan. Knights stand guard outside. With bated breath, everyone says, we greet the patriarch. The patriarch arrives, his presence commanding and ominous. He immediately declares, bring the Tona. The patriarch's booming voice echoes, Hey Tona Daytona. The twins stand before him, their fates uncertain. Daytona and Daytona deny any fault in their fight with Jin. They claim Jin hurt them with an unknown power. Daytona and Daytona realize it wasn't aura that Jin used. They realize with shock it was magic. Magic is a forbidden art in our family. The twins insist Jin used magic, a forbidden art. The patriarch commands, etch this into your heart. The patriarch declares, you will not be able to survive within the Rungkandles like this. The Tona twins seem scared of the patriarch's words. Jin remembers his father, Chiron Rungkandle, the strongest, coldest person I've ever known. He was once just like anyone else, but the Genesis Knight changed him. Jin recalls Chiron, who became obsessed with the clan's development, despite his lack of swordsmanship. Jin remembers the patriarch and his words. In his past life, he would have been treated as a nobody, but not this time. Jin declares to himself, I'll make sure no one will be able to disregard me. Jin walks to the door, ready to face whatever awaits him. Diffus and Luna watch with a mix of curiosity and concern. As the patriarch arrives, a chorus of voices announces his presence. The family awaits judgment and a confrontation with Jin for his forbidden power. Jin approaches the patriarch, facing his destiny with determination and resolve. The patriarch confronts Jin, his voice echoing with authority. Why did you call me patriarch and not father? Luna states she assumed his visit official, hence the formal address. The patriarch responds, that's a satisfying answer. The patriarch states he's here for a different reason. He demands Jin refer to him as father for now. He asks what wrongs his brothers committed. Before Jin could answer the patriarch, a thought flashes through his mind. That is, revenge. Another Rungkandle states family rule. Return what you are given, whether it's a favor or resentment. The patriarch's deep voice fills the room. Everyone except the youngest in the room leave. Whispers erupt among the Rungkandle knights. They affirm the patriarch's commands with unwavering obedience. The patriarch has asked for everyone to leave, wanting a one-on-one talk with Jin. As Jin faces his father, the patriarch observes him closely. Little guy, not bad huh, he says menacingly. The patriarch declares he sent everyone away for a private discussion. The Tona twins accused him of using magic. The patriarch looms over Jin, demanding to know the source of his power. What is the power that you were using? The patriarch is not pleased with the use of magic and declares, I will not allow this to pass lightly. As long as his father knows of his power, Jin believes he won't ignore it, because as his father demands answers, Jin thinks about solder it. I can't tell if this is magic or aura. Jin, with a surge of newfound power, wonders what to call this ability. As Jin struggles to find an answer, Solder It speaks out, you can help me name it. The text is the power of Runkendall's founder, looms as Jin grips a mysterious power. We are back with Swordmaster's youngest son, this time in Chapter 4. The patriarch recognizes Jin's immense power, but Jin's true power is still hidden, a burning shadow. Barisada's shadow energy surges, a sinister presence surrounds Jin and Gilly. The patriarch's internal monologue questions Jin's destiny. Little Jin looks up, seeking confirmation from his father. The patriarch simply confirms his thoughts. The patriarch reveals the source of Jin's power, Solderit, the god of shadows, the mysterious entity that shares a contract with Jin. Little Jin questions the god of shadows. Solderit made a contract with the Runkendall family's founder, Lord Temer. He is with the family to this day, but Temer is gone. The patriarch stares intently. He believes Solderit is trying to connect with the Runkendalls through Jin. The boy asks what he's curious about. Jin asks if Solderit is stronger than the patriarch. The family head remains silent, lost in thought. The patriarch is unsure what to do, admitting he's never fought a god before. Solderit looms over him. Jin smirks, repeating the patriarch's own words. The family head acknowledges Jin's cunning. It was indeed the best answer. The patriarch acknowledges Jin as his son. The boy is shocked by this sudden display of affection. The family head pats Jin on the head, claiming his question was good. Now he has a topic. The patriarch states that visiting Jin was a good decision. He asks how Jin wants to use his shadow energy. Jin pauses, then confidently declares he will use his power for the family's sake. Solderit, angered by Jin's declaration, laughs maniacally. He deems the boy's words an amusing lie. The patriarch is shocked at Jin's declaration of loyalty. He remembers Jin defeating his brothers and throwing them to the storm. With his back still turned, Solderit commands Jin to tell him the truth. Jin clenches his fist, anticipating Solderit's reaction. Jin betrays Solderit. He proclaims that he wants to use this power for himself. The family head pauses, seemingly contemplating Jin's hidden intentions. He says, yes, I like that. The family head declares that he will be keeping a close eye on Jin. The boy hardens his gaze. Jin exhales, relieved to have safely navigated that exchange. He thinks he got the permission he wanted to use shadow energy. The family head is surprised, thinking that the patriarch now has expectations of him. He says that it's an unexpected result. Jin looks down at his shadow-infused hand, thinking this life is different. From afar, a figure calls out to the youngest one under the pouring rain. Out in the pouring rain, Mary presents Jin with a heavy, special present from his older sister. With a sinister smile, Mary tells Jin to get strong quickly. Jin is baffled by Mary's actions. He questions why she gave it to him. Why me? Suddenly, the room is filled with blinding light. Gilly is shocked and surprised by what is happening. The room is illuminated with fiery light. A voice declares it is the Phoenix's heart. Jin smirks, looking forward to its power. An internal monologue deems Mary insane for giving this to a 7-year-old. She has another nickname, the Mad Woman of the Southern region. It's obvious why she gave it to me. Jin recalls Mary's sinister words and the Phoenix heart's effects: fire, resistance, and growth. Jin thinks maybe he can summon a phoenix in this life. The Phoenix heart is reacting. Gilly asks if Jin waited long. Jin thanks Gilly and she mentions Mary's gift before telling him to eat. Jin has conditions. Jin stares silently at Gilly. The boy nervously nods, confirming that he wants it. Jin stares intently, asking Gilly to listen to his request. Gilly's siblings peek into the room. Meanwhile, in a hidden location, others are also hard at work digging a hole. One says that if someone finds out they dug this out, they'll be in trouble. Meanwhile, people are whispering. They think Jin, the youngest, is a little scary. Shadows surround Jin as he prepares to test the Phoenix Heart's true potential. Jin's eyes glow, absorbing the Phoenix Heart. He prepares to harness its power. The story of Jin Rungkandle, the Swordmaster's youngest son, continues in Chapter 5. Sounds of fighting fill the room as a maid gasps at the scene. Someone welcomes their brothers quickly, while another yells for them to shut up. The twins demand their reward for completing the task. I already put it on the table over there, Jin says casually. On a plate, 2 spoonfuls sit as the twins question the reward. Hey little bro, is this a teaspoon? Jin asks if they recognize that he kept his promise. Well then, enjoy, he says as one twin says, yeah, thanks a lot. Jin adjusts his cloak in the rain, thinking to himself, I thought they'd do a half-assed job. Emerging from the cave, Jin remarks that the twins did better than expected. With this wall thickness, 1-star magic should be enough. Jin states he was getting frustrated with his mana, building up with nothing to use it on. Jin unleashes his mana, the area around him glows with green energy. A magic circle forms around him. The rocks around Jin float as he is encased by green magic. Finally, he thinks, ready to test his newly honed power. Jin stands before a large chained door. I have arrived, he states, looking at Rungkandle's secret storage. Jin recalls his previous life as he faces the chained door. My older brother told me about the trigger word. Rungkandle's child is here to console Murakin, the panel ominously declares as Jin approaches the storage. This is where Rungkandle keeps the secret tomes of fallen families. Jin stares at the entrance. It's pretty vast. The door states only flag-bearers can enter. An old ally's words ring in Jin's ears. You've helped a lot, brother. Jin affirms, I'm putting it to good use now. Jin looks up to see a figure inside a glowing tube. What is that, he wonders. Inside the tube stands a man. It is Murakin, once known as the strongest dragon in the world, now imprisoned. What fate awaits him? Looking closer, Jin questions if Murakin has scales and isn't human. He puts his hand on the glass. Jin exclaims, why is such a thing? Don't tell me. He looks at Murakin with shock and confusion. The words Rungkandle's child is here to console Murakin echo in the chamber, as Jin stands before the sealed dragon. Jin realizes the dragon imprisoned before him is indeed the black dragon Murakin. Jin looks around the chamber. I don't have time for this. Where are the secret tomes? Are they here? Looking past Murakin, Jin spots his target. Found them, he whispers, noticing countless books. Jin thinks to himself that he will investigate the Kunjin family's texts. I'll take them with me, he declares. As Jin grabs a book, he thinks to himself that he needs to be careful. He prepares a small blade. Before leaving, Jin remembers the words said to him. I'll copy them every time I come here. The sound of writing fades as Jin pauses, contemplating what he has written. He thinks to himself. A voice booms out, questioning Jin's presence. Hey, you, what are you? Before Jin can react to the ominous voice, it declares who it is talking to. The voice is powerful. A look of shock spreads across Jin's face. Murakin roars with rage, his voice echoing, furious at being called a guardian. Murakin is enraged at Jin. How dare you treat me as a guardian, he yells. Murakin, enraged, curses his fate as a guardian. He exclaims he smells something good and then sees Jin. Jin is shocked as Murakin sniffs him out. You, sir, Jin hesitantly asks. Confused by Murakin's words, Jin ponders if his shadow energy awoke the dragon. Meanwhile, Murakin searches for the source of this power. Jin has an idea. Murakin excitedly questions if Jin knows anything. Mr. Murakin, Jin asks. Murakin asks if Jin refers to the shadow energy surrounding him. Jin confirms, stating his father told him it comes from Solderit. Murakin is in disbelief, questioning if Solderit is joking. The promised 1,000-year contract, he cries out in anguish. The imposing figure speaks, addressing Jin. Hey, kiddo, Murakin says, his voice booming through the chamber. Jin calls out to Murakin as the chained dragon makes a realization. Murakin says Jin is the person to cooperate with. Murakin is surprised Jin knows about Solderit. A promise with Solderit, I'll fill you in later. Murakin decides to introduce himself as Solderit's representative to Jin. I am Murakin. Murakin acknowledges Jin as both his friend and the last descendant of a hidden power. A figure is created from the shadows, which relates to the 1,000-year contract with Solderit. Murakin makes an oath with shadow magic. He declares he will be by Jin's side. Murakin's immense form looms over Jin as he wonders which side he should be on. Murakin demands Jin identify himself, revealing his awareness of Solderit's contractor. As Murakin looms over him, the young Jin Runkcandle announces himself. Jin extends his fist toward the massive Murakin, a silent, hopeful gesture for an alliance. Murakin Mountain, a place known for stormy winds, was named after him. Black Dragon Murakin once ruled this place. But the story says Murakin was defeated by Temur Runkcandle 1,000 years ago. It is said making a contract with gods requires a guardian dragon, but nothing is known about them. There was doubt about Solderit's guardian dragon. It could be that Murakin is in slumber. With Murakin now awake, Jin wonders if he'll also get a guardian dragon like Solderit. He calls out to Murakin. Jin kept Murakin in the secret library for weeks after waking up. Murakin wonders why he fought Temur. But there is one peculiar fact about Murakin. He goes crazy over strawberry pie. Is that all the pie? Jin says that he transcribes and writes down everything Murakin tells him. Murakin asks if Jin understands everything. Murakin remarks that Jin has a lot of faith for his age, unlike other lazy kids. That's just for normal kids, he adds. Jin mutters that being called faithful is normal for a Runkcandle. He has 12 siblings. He reflects on his father, mother, and elders. If I want to destroy them, I must work harder. Jin wonders to himself how he would fare compared to the strongest being in history. He calls out Temur's name. Murakin doubts if Jin can understand a single book at his age, though he admits his theory isn't necessarily true. Murakin tells Jin that he has potential like Temur but is not as good. Jin wonders if he'll never be like Temur. Murakin places a heavy hand on Jin's head. He says he can be as strong as Temur. Jin looks up at Murakin, surprised by the dragon's sudden show of faith. Murakin smirks, asking if Jin knows Solderit's nickname. Jin responds that he doesn't. Solderit's power is infinite. As his contractor, Jin also has no limits. Murakin tells Jin not to be so glum and to have faith. He'll teach a technique to feel better. Murakin grins, repeating shadow energy liberation. Jin looks up, confused by Murakin's words. Murakin warns Jin to learn slowly because it is dangerous. Jin agrees and asks what he should do first. Jin questions Murakin's teaching method. Why? He claims to have already done this in his past life. Murakin tells Jin that he'll only be practicing basics for the next 2-3 years. Jin asks Murakin to teach him right away. Murakan is startled that Jin already succeeded. He demands to know how Jin did it. Murakan is shocked that Jin can already move his mana. Christ, Murakan mutters in disbelief. Murakan thinks it worked. Jin now understands what shadow energy liberation is. Jin knows the energy comes from the shadows. Murakan reveals that all shadows in the world originated from Solderit. The god of shadows is the source of everything. Jin is surrounded by the released shadow energy, and you are the sole contractor of Solderit. The shadows around Jin swirl intensely, responding to his newfound power. He is truly becoming Solderit's contractor. Murakan exclaims that Jin can now be the owner of all the world's shadows. The shadows fade and Murakan smiles deviously at Jin. He asks Jin what he thinks of his power. Jin is shocked by the results. He can feel the shadow energy around him. Someone calls out to Lady Luna. After the area is cleared, 5 more areas remain. Sure, she says, then 4 months should be enough. Luna orders her knights to take a break, but she still has one more thing to do. Yes, a voice responds. Luna, surrounded by corpses, wonders what 9-year-olds usually like. The next chapter of Swordmaster's Youngest Son awaits. Can Jin control his power? Swordmaster's Youngest Son. The adventure continues in the next chapter. Half a year after meeting Murakan, Tona departs Storm Castle for a mission. See you later, he says. Jin wonders what's happening. Suddenly a grand birthday party appears. Happy 9th birthday, everyone shouts with a cake. Jin is thankful. Khan interrupts the party, apologizing for the sudden appearance to young Master Jin. Khan hesitates, then his sword glows with dark energy, filling the room with murderous intent. Everyone is shocked by Khan's murderous aura. A woman stands in the back ready for battle. Luna Rungkandle, the white whale, firstborn out of the 13 siblings. It's said Luna was a lonely white whale who moved alone, never showing interest in her siblings. They stand far apart in the hall. That's how distant we were. Jin realizes his sister Luna's sudden, unannounced arrival at Storm Castle means something big. Jin looks up at Luna, surprised. In his mind, he wonders if she knows about the library. Luna says, "You've grown." Jin awkwardly replies that he would have dressed better if he knew. Luna corrects herself, seeming nervous and on edge. Jin notices she's acting strange. Jin, noticing Luna's odd behavior, points out, "You're on edge." A Rungkandle tradition exists for siblings to watch, steal from, and trample each other. Luna corrects her earlier statement, implying Jin should show her respect. "You may be young." Luna apologizes for the interruption, but requests to speak with Jin privately. "May I dismiss your nanny and knights?" Jin is surprised by Luna's request to speak alone. He wonders what she wants to discuss as he responds with, "Yes, sister." Luna starts, "Jin, my youngest brother, I came so suddenly because..." Luna explains that Jin's recent encounter with their father has attracted unwanted attention from their other siblings, causing concern. Luna warns Jin that all their siblings will be watching him closely. Luna expresses her hope that Jin won't suffer because of the Rungkandle family traditions. Jin wonders if this is why she gave up. Jin wonders why Luna never warned him about the sibling rivalry in his past life. Was I not worth speaking to? Luna thinks to herself, or because the other siblings didn't see me as competition at all. Jin, touched by Luna's concern, expresses his gratitude. He declares he won't sit idly by in the coming conflict. Jin acknowledges Luna's sincerity, responding calmly. But the conversation feels incomplete. Something remains unsaid. Luna is determined and can't back down. "I've already been through an assassination attempt." Suddenly the room trembles with an immense destructive force. "Who dares try something like this in Storm Castle?" Jin demands, his eyes wide with shock. Luna, her eyes glowing with power, demands to know who dares attack Jin. Luna presses Jin for information, demanding to know which sibling tried to kill him. He refuses to answer. Luna appreciates Jin's honesty, admitting not all her siblings hate her. Suddenly, Jin is grabbed, realizing he's been targeted. Luna hugs Jin tightly, expressing her sadness about the Rungkandle family's harsh realities. Luna tries to lighten the mood. "Today is a joyous occasion, so we shouldn't talk about such things." Luna smiles, saying she's here to give Jin a gift for his birthday. Ah. Luna presents a blue pendant. She asks Jin to turn around for a moment as he confirms her request. Luna tells Jin to break the blue gem pendant if he's ever in danger. She'll come to his aid no matter what. Jin, filled with gratitude, cheerfully thanks his sister for the thoughtful birthday gesture. Luna offers Jin a dessert, possibly a treat to lighten the serious conversation they are having. Luna says she should get going now. Jin smiles, thanking her as she leaves. Someone shouts to Jin, surprised to see him. They point out something around Jin's neck. Someone mentions she got it as a birthday gift. It's an artifact of Demon King Orgel. The narrative explains people risked their lives for a Demon King Orgel artifact. Murakin smirks, revealing they were alive during the same time. He was really famous, he adds. Jin confirms Luna was the source of the power. He also sensed her energy. Jin wonders if Luna is going to tell his family about the artifact. What? Luna stands alone in the rain. Would she tell on her youngest brother and leave him to die? Back in the room, the assassin reflects, deciding to pretend to be ignorant. Just remember one thing. Despite everything, Luna's words echoed, promising unwavering support to Jin. I will always be by your side. The image shows the title of the series, Swordmaster's Youngest Son, Chapter 8. Jin reflects on his time at Storm Castle, a period he initially thought boring. He reflects on his meeting with Murakin, the guardian dragon, something beyond his wildest dreams. Jin remembers he is 10 years old now. Suddenly, Jin unleashes a burst of mana, a dazzling explosion of power and potential erupting from his hands. Jin begins preparing to leave Storm Castle and head into the main castle. Jin's mana blasts forward, about to collide with an unknown assailant. Who is it, and why are they attacking? The assailant is revealed to be Khan. Eyes glowing with fury, he reaches out to stop Jin's mana. Khan thinks to himself, it's no wonder Jin caught the Patriarch's eye. Khan says, let us stop here for today. Jin replies, okay, as a knight calls him, young Master Jin. Khan lowers his head, speaking formally, it has been an honor to teach you. He says there's not much time left. Khan says he will make sure Jin gets the best training until the very end. Jin agrees, saying he'll be in his care. Jin ignites a special candle, a flame dancing in his hands. Finally, he exclaims, a smile spreading across his face as his time at Storm Castle comes to an end. Gilly carries a suitcase. She says, oh my, is that not hot? Jin replies, yeah, it just feels like warm water now. Lady Mary says she's only heard of the Phoenix Heart, never seen its effects. Jin thinks he absorbed half of it. Lady Mary thinks to herself that the Phoenix Heart will be fully absorbed soon. A servant asks if Jin needs anything before the morning. A servant asks, young master, should I pack these books? Jin answers, yeah, I'm gonna read them in the carriage. A servant understands Jin and offers to prepare him strawberry pie. Jin replies, okay, Thaw then remembers something. Jin suddenly says he's going for a stroll, leaving Gilly confused. He exclaims he'll be right back. A familiar voice greets Jin, hey Tilda, you're back, child. It is someone asking about tomorrow's departure. Murakin greets Jin. He tells Jin not to sweat the small stuff since he is the legendary Black Dragon. Murakin scoffs, belittling his weakened state. He promises to tail Jin inconspicuously. You've become weak, Jin asks. Murakin asks if he can regain his power. Jin confidently responds, of course. Murakin promises to make him stronger. The man urges Jin to become a strong magic swordsman like Temer. Jin asks if the Runkendel family was originally like that. Jin recalls Solderit telling him the Runkendel family were originally magic swordsmen. The narration explains that barely anyone knows why the Runkendel family rejects magic. It's because of a humiliating vow from 1,000 years ago. Murakin thinks even though he's the guardian, they would hate his presence. He wishes he was worshipped in the past. In a grand hall, Diffus wonders aloud if a Runkendel would really be there. Jin quietly acknowledges. Murakin is worried, saying he'll hide well, and Jin agrees. Jin asks what Murakin will do. Murakin appears to be helping Jin, dismissing it as an illusion. He assures Jin it'll be easy. Murakin thinks he hasn't fully regained his strength. He plans to stay with Jin as long as possible. Jin says, okay, thanks for this. The man responds that he'd appreciate more respect. He says he has a gift for Jin. A pie of first strawberries and swiped alcohol is presented as a gift. Waya, someone exclaims. Murakan grabs the alcohol saying, "Don't get drunk and start making weird illusions." He asks Jin what he takes him for. A servant tells Jin he can't expect a quiet life, even at Main Castle. Jin thinks about this. Jin is told things will be harder at Main Castle, but he will be busier. Lady Mary says she can't bake pie. A voice says he will devote himself to Jin even more. Two guardian knights, Jerome and Holtz, greet young Master Jin. Two knights announce they will escort Jin to the Garden of Swords. Jin nods, saying, "Okay, I'll be in your care, let's go." It's October 30th, 1790. Jin is finally leaving Storm Castle for the Main Castle. As the carriage departs, Jin reflects on his imminent arrival at the Rungkandal. The story of the Swordmaster's youngest son continues with the next chapter. Inside the train, Jin and Gilly watch the snow fall outside. Jin looks at the snow, worried it will pile up fast. The heavy snow may stop teleportation. Suddenly, the train is under attack. A guard yells to protect the young master and stand by inside. Gilly assures Jin he's safe. Jerome and Holt's 7-star knights are on guard. Outside, the knights prepare to fight 20 enemies. Someone wonders if anyone is stronger than Jerome and Holtz. Then, Gilly grabs Jin and urges to leave now. Gilly reminds Jin, Rungkandal guardian knights must never leave a Rungkandal child alone. She wonders who to trust. The knights suspect one of them is a traitor or even a fake. There may be equipment hidden in the train. Jin demands they leave immediately. Gilly understands. She vows to protect him as a member of Rungkandal. The enemy knight prepares a powerful strike. He says to understand if he goes a bit overboard. The enemy knight's powerful strike obliterates the train car completely. Amidst the chaos, Gilly says she will accept punishment later. Jin says that's not important right now, they must go. Through the destroyed train car, Gilly carries Jin away. She says she needs to confirm something. The enemies reveal themselves as the mercenary group, the Black King Squad. They have found the enemy soldiers are furious that someone is messing with their plan. They reveal Holtz and Jerome were just imposters. The Black King Squad surrounds them. Gilly demands to know who they are and who they work for. The Black King Squad member refuses to reveal their employer. Gilly asks Jin what to do next. One Black King Squad member suggests they kill Gilly. Their leader wants Jin brought to him but injured. Someone from above ominously says, "I will do as you wish." Someone below wonders who it is. The Black King Squad member is sliced in two from an unseen force. The imposter knight is slashed by the unseen force. He screams, calling the attack damned. The imposter knight manages to gasp out "Wham!" as blood splatters everywhere. What's going on? The Black King Squad member is defeated quickly. Who is this mysterious savior? The imposter is slashed. He cries out in pain. A massive explosion fills the area. Gilly stands and rushes toward someone as an attack flies past her. An enemy states his master's underestimated Rungkandal. The imposter thinks to become a Rungkandal nanny is easy, but Gilly prepares herself for battle. The imposter knight states a child of Rungkandal should be guarded by 8-star knights. He screams his warning. The imposter knight holding Jin says he wants something too. Jin thinks about his own reign to begin. The Black King Squad member praises a figure while lying on the ground. Gilly is alarmed by the sound. She wonders what Zippel could possibly mean. The Zippel family is introduced. They are the mage family that rules the other half of the world. They pursue the ultimate magic, 1,000 years ago after the founder of Rungkandal died. A flashback shows the Zippel family banned magic throughout Rungkandal years ago. It was a humiliating oath. Jin understands Rungkandal is a lifelong enemy of Zippel. The dying imposter begs to be killed. Jin realizes the ambush was not how the Zippel family normally operates. Something feels very strange about this situation. The narrator knows it's hard to fool a 7-star warrior. Someone wonders if a bastard is involved. The episode begins. The saga of the Swordmaster's youngest son continues in Chapter 10. Gilly confirms the task is done, but Jin presses on. "Did you say that your Black King Squad Captain Mureka?" He confirms. Jin is grateful for the help. He promises to report their assistance to the Runkendel family upon arrival. As Jin promises to do his best, someone watches on thinking he's only 10. Mureka thinks to himself, I am looking at the path that will open the era of Jin Runkendel. Mureka commands his squad to be on their best behavior until the gate is established. Some squad members question this order. After getting confirmation from Gilly, Mureka agrees. He orders, let's depart then. Doubts arise within the Black King squad. A member asks if leaving the fakes is alright. Mureka brushes it off. Mureka's chilling words reveal the fate of those left behind, examples dead or alive. Gilly acknowledges Mureka's praise. They will arrive at a village in 2 hours. Gilly responds to Mureka's call. Jin is comforted by Mureka, who states, it's not your fault. Mureka suggests it would be hard for a 7-star warrior to notice anything wrong. Then he tells them what to do. I'm sorry. A flashback shows a younger Gilly holding Jin. Gilly has remained devoted to Jin since his infancy. We get a flashback to Jin's past life. Gilly was his nanny, always there for him. He remembers the day he was banished from the Runkendel family. Gilly was also banished. He remembers Gilly's past kindness, but now Jin recognizes that Gilly must harden her resolve. Gilly says she'll receive any punishment. Jin firmly tells Gilly not to blame herself, reminding her that she's still his nanny. He gives her an order. Gilly is taken aback by Jin's sharp tone. He continues, so don't make me say those things ever again, understood? The Black King squad silently follows behind Jin as they head toward their destination. The member thinks about Jin taking care of them. Gilly vows to protect Jin. He thinks, what a relief, she's cheered up. We see they are heading to a village. At the village, Jin notices the receptionist and knights. He thinks someone is involved with them. The squad encounters a transformation sorcerer, Bubergaston. Transformation is a skill mastered by dragons. Bubergaston was the only one who could perform the perfect transformation. He uses the ability to commit transformation crimes. Jin realizes if Buber is involved, things are complicated. He remembers his past life and Buber's arrest. Jin contemplates turning Bubergaston into an ally, seeing his potential use, but he recalls Buber's past actions against him. Jin realizes Buber's involvement complicates things, contrasting with his past life. Gilly announces she'll guard outside. Jin suddenly wakes up in an unfamiliar room. Gilly is at his side, sighing in relief. Jin is awakened by cat sounds. He wonders where the cat sounds are coming from. Jin wakes up in bed. Did I fall asleep? He stretches, groaning at how tired he feels. Suddenly, Jin hears a meow and sees a cat outside the window. He's confused by this unexpected visitor. Mureka smiles and offers assurance. Jin agrees to Mureka's request, understanding. The scene shifts, someone is overhearing them. Jin asks if the cat was done on purpose. The cat apologizes, explaining that it was unexpected. Jin is surprised. He thought Muraken would hide as a servant, but Muraken shouts that the knights would notice. The cat shouts, asking if Jin knows how hard it was to follow him. Jin is shocked, exclaiming, "You." Suddenly the door breaks down. An enraged Gilly shouts at Muraken the cat, "How dare you go after the young master?" Gilly's anger erupts, claws drawn. The captured man cries out, demanding to know who they are. Gilly is discovered. The person Buber says he's finally met his strawberry pie. Gilly is disgusted by this revelation. She doesn't recognize Buber. Gilly is confused when Buber says he has been looking forward to meeting her. They're screwed. The title screen showcases Jin with his sword and a mysterious hooded figure. First, Muraken, Runkendel's guardian, the Black Dragon, appears. Then another person shows up and Muraken recognizes her. The Runkendel worker apologizes for her rudeness. Muraken calls her strawberry pie and gladly forgives her antics. The maids realize that Muraken's presence is the reason behind the daily strawberry pie requests. Gilly asks to sit down for an explanation. Gilly apologizes for her lies while Muraken acknowledges Jin's talent. He reveals Jin is a contractor of Solderit. Gilly is happy for Jin but keeps her worries to herself. Jin warns her to keep Muraken a secret from the clan. Gilly bows respectfully as Muraken assures her he will be with Jin. Muraken laughs loudly as Gilly questions if he can be trusted. The boy reluctantly agrees. The Black King squad is thanked for their hard work at the middle teleportation gate. They seem satisfied with the mission. Buber Gaston speaks through a black cat, expressing his excitement for Jin's future to Gilly. Gilly is addressed and asked a question. Buber questions Gilly's choice to leave the McLaurin family and become Jin's nanny. She coolly replies that it's not worth discussing. The knight apologizes, admitting he overstepped. Buber dismisses the apology as the squad stands behind him. Well then. The knight asks for identification at the middle teleportation gate. He presents a Runkandle family identification badge to the guard. The guard offers premium seats, stating the journey will be quick, but they must wait 2 hours. Well then, have a safe trip. Gilly voices her concerns as Jin's maid. They could cover up Murakin's discovery or anything else. Buber claims his magic is being discussed. He asserts Runkandles won't allow it. Jin says he will hide it. Jin notices the golden dragon insignia on the knight's cloak. Luna is present at the gate as well. The hooded figure stops in their tracks. Behind them are 2 knights. Zipple. Luna sits with nobles as she suddenly stops and tries to recognize someone. Who is that? Familiar, she says as she clicks her tongue, having a bad feeling about visiting Hewfester. To think I'd see these annoying brats here. A black cat meows as someone says that it is cute. The cat snarls at the approaching boy, sinking its claws into his hand and scratching him. "AAH," he yells. The boy cries out to his master as Gilly says there's no need for swords. I provoke the cat. Buber remarks about Jin's calm demeanor. Veridin Zipple then interrupts to apologize for his earlier rude behavior. Jin, recognizing the figure, exclaims, "Veridin Zipple," seemingly shocked by the appearance of the Zipple member. The narration introduces the approaching figure as a genius mage from Zipple. The genius mage reflects on meeting Jin at such a young age, calling it a fun failing. Jin agrees, admitting he was wondering about him too. Buber calls Jin not a complete idiot. He jokes about Jin losing fingers. Gilly calls him violent. Veridin's tone shifts as he asks if Jin thinks he is joking. He pauses and continues, ready to give Jin some advice for dealing with other Zipples. Veridin suggests avoiding rash decisions that involve cutting fingers. Gilly wonders if the clans would be involved in childish fights. Veridin calmly asks if it would become a children's fight. His eyes narrow. Jin states he learned something. He'll repay later, but Veridin demands he repays now. Jin agrees and asks what he needs. Jin wants him to be quiet. The shadowy figure says not to disturb their rest and recognizes Jin Runkandle. They consider befriending him. The white-haired mage is excited by the thought of Jin becoming a lifelong enemy. Jin sighs, noticing the mage's odd behavior. Someone believes they're all out of their mind as teleportation commences. There may be side effects. A voice echoes Jin Runkandle, as a mage smiles, saying, "It was nice meeting you, let's meet again next time." Jin apologizes and tells the boy to not bother him again with that cat. The teleportation gate opens, ready for them to arrive at their next destination. A woman states she has been waiting for Jin. He is greeted by Pedro, the housekeeper. Pedro, the housekeeper, states it must have been hard coming all this way. Jin wants to say something more. A grand estate welcomes Jin Runkandle. Countless swords stand in the garden. The Garden of Swords, reads the text. The title card displays the title Swordmaster's Youngest Son, along with its chapter number. Jin recalls his past dream, to die in honor and have his sword placed. Jin, disheartened, reflects on his efforts, deciding this time it'll be different. Finally, he declares his intent to live well here. Jin, in a fur-lined coat, walks toward the Runkandle main castle. His shadow looms large before him, a stark contrast to his small frame. A man in dark robes and long black hair greets Jin. "It's been a while, youngest." Jin responds to the woman called Mother, as piercing eyes watch in the dark. Jin presents the black cat. Daytona scoffs, correcting his word choice. "Instead of picking up, you collected it." The silent figures behind Jin approve of his actions, but a booming voice questions, "Son, what is this child's name?" Jin proudly declares, "Her name is Butterfly Runkandle, Mother." Confusion and disbelief follow. Disapproval floods the room, some thinking it's not right, others calling it an insignificant beast. Gilly apologizes after. Someone yells, enough. The family head questions why he would attach the Runkandle name to the cat. Jin thinks to himself that the cat's name should hold some importance. Protectively, Jin declares he'll make anyone pay who insults Butterfly. He's making enemies. The family elders glare menacingly as Jin confidently smiles, holding Butterfly. Jin thinks he'll have a... The family head grins ominously, warning everyone about Jin. He dares them to try and handle the cheeky youngest child. The panel introduces Jin Runkandle, a 14-year-old 2-star knight and a low-rank cadet. His training is ending. Garen asks Jin if he forgot Luna's training. He remembers, deciding to eat first. Garen is told it is fine to let Lady Rosa know Jin won't eat with cadets. He avoids siblings. Bellup Schmitz brings Jin his food, smiling warmly. Jin thanks Bellup for the meal. Runkandle Guardian Knight cadets belong to the low-rank class. Bellup is 13. Bellup, mouthful, expresses gratitude to the Runkandle family and Jin. He is stopped for saying too much. Bellup is told to conduct himself with discretion. He's running his mouth too much. Is that so? Jin is encouraged to have some confidence and remember his status. Jin admits his grades are awful still. It's hard to become a cadet. Despite Jin's awful grades, Bellup is told Jin is still better than outsiders. Another questions how Jin can be so pure. After becoming a loyal dog of the Bement Empire, he'll walk a path of murder. Jin states he's not hungry and gives his food to Bellup. Bellup is shocked and grateful. He silently vows to prevent disqualification and banishment this time. It's enough to live unluckily and die once. He thinks his shadow energy liberation and swordsmanship are 2 stars, but his mana is 4. Meals are brought in. Jin thinks he's improving and will be a 3-star swordsman in 2 years, but before that, Luna thinks about Jin, my lovable younger brother. Jin replies, I understand, big sister, as Luna softly replies that his heart's eyes are showing. A voice encourages Jin to see with his heart's eyes. He's in for a training he doesn't know. The Swordmaster's youngest son is ready to face new challenges in Chapter 13. He must look with his mind's eye. To hone the blade, the mind's eye is essential. Don't open his eyes. The master mentions the mind's eye and how it's for 7-star knights. Jin wonders why he is being taught this at just 2-star. But Jin can't use aura during Luna's training. He is struggling to get the hang of it. He will trust her. Luna dismisses Jin, acknowledging his hard work for the day's training. Jin quietly thanks her. Luna is impressed. Jin exceeds her expectations every time. She notes his focus is rare for a 2-star. Luna watches Jin continue to train. Keep growing like that, my brother Jin. The guards welcome Jin Runkandle, but his arrival causes tension. Some are clearly on edge as he arrives. A spar to become a guardian knight, they are nervous, but Jin is told it's an important day for him as well. He recalls Lady Rosa's words, defeat 10 upper ranks today, bells ringing. Someone thinks I'll take measures so that he won't be expelled, but he should be more confident. An announcement booms, attention. An instructor explains the rules. Each knight will spar 3 times. Jin will face the top 10 victors alone. The instructor dismisses the rejected candidates. Now Jin prepares, responding calmly to the challenge ahead with, yeah, okay. Jin deflects an attack, surprised at his performance. He thinks 10 huh. With the first spar concluded, Luna has her eye on Jin. Next, get ready, she says. I'll be in your care, young master. Mesa Mulkana is an elite, sure to be a guardian knight. Mesa exclaims she will beat Jin no matter what. Jin smirks, okay, I'm looking forward to it, he says, ready to fight. Jin acknowledges Mesa's strength, but he's confident he can win. He realizes there are 8 more to go. Mesa attacks Jin with a barrage of strikes. Why is he using simple attacks? Mesa wonders if Jin is going easy on purpose after showing off so much. Mesa thinks, no way. Mesa is furious at Jin, assuming he's not giving her his all. Very well, she will prove him wrong. Mesa attacks, yelling, let's give it a go, young master. A spectator watches, impressed with the power. Jin, dodging Mesa's strikes, vows not to be pushed back again. He will surpass her. Mesa screams while unleashing a powerful strike at Jin with her weapon. Mesa attacks with an intense spinning strike. Jin can only think H as he defends. Mesa is shocked and defeated. Jin says, it was a good match, Mesa Mulkana. Mesa has been defeated, she is shocked. Jin says, anyway, this is useless now. The spectators are in disbelief, recognizing Jin's skill. He's not a rung candle for nothing, one says. Mesa is upset after losing to Jin. I can't keep losing like this. The figure thinks that it will be difficult to face all 10 trainees in his current state. It's all going according to plan. Jin thinks he has tricked others into thinking he can only win in a brawl. Jin thinks with this it's 10, thank God it went according to plan. He's called marvelous by someone. Garen tells Jin that he will get training from a true Rungkandel next year. Jin inquires how much longer. He's told about 10 minutes. Jin declares he has one more person he wants to face today. He grips his wooden sword. Someone shouts, who? Belop Schmitz is shocked. He stutters in disbelief. Why, young master, me? Belop Schmitz is addressed. He's suddenly chosen for a spar. Belop stutters, shocked at the unexpected challenge. Someone yells to the defeated, step forward and listen to my words. The challenger yells at Jin, a surge of anger. Fight me, I'll destroy you. The latest chapter of Swordmaster's Youngest Son is out, ready for the adventure. With determined steps, he walks towards a crowd of people, ready to face what's ahead. Gilly, still confused, wonders why the young master chose her. Am I too weak? Belop is called out. He looks exhausted from fighting 10 people. Gilly responds nervously, showing her excitement to be chosen. He declares that he wants to fight Gilly because he wants to be stronger. Gilly is confused by his declaration. Belop is struck by a surprise attack. He yells out, Ack. Gilly is shocked. Young master, why are you? Belop takes the full force of the young master's attack. He cries out in pain. The force of the attack is blocked by Gilly's sword. The young master commends, you blocked well. Gilly nervously replies, thank. The wooden sword clashes against the ground with immense power. Dust flies everywhere as a character wonders what is happening. Belop screams as he flies backwards from the impact. Jin's power overwhelms the scene with an orange glow. The young master's wooden sword lands a direct hit. Belop cries out in pain, Cuke. Belop grits his teeth and struggles to withstand Jin's unexpected attack. He says, ugh. Gilly is confused, wondering why Jin attacked Belop. Jin declares, I want to fight with you. Jin stands over the fallen Belop. He says, get up, I will only be merciful just once. Belop is silent. Whispers erupt from the crowd as Jin's power becomes apparent. He holds his wooden sword, radiating power. Gilly stares in disbelief, uttering, that's. The crowd shouts as they feel the surge of Jin's aura. Instructor, stop him. The swordsmanship instructor, Garen Altamir, and Gilly watch in shock. An order is given. What they saw today must be a secret. Gilly stares at the scene in shock, wondering, is this really what you wanted, young master? Jin replies, that's right. Jin warns to not hold back if Belop knows how to use aura. You've made a mistake. Jin yells out, you should have fought me first, as he attacks. The sound of clashing wood echoes as Jin's and Belop's swords meet. The force sends shockwaves throughout the area. The sounds of the swords clashing are heard and a shockwave is felt, as Gilly's eyes widen in fear. Witnesses comment on Jin's strength as every spar ends in the same way, a brutal display of force. A voice narrates that Jin figures out his opponent and matches them accordingly. Belop pushes himself to his feet, tears and sweat streaming down his face. But to think that he can already use aura. The force of Jin's blow sends Belop flying, another defeated opponent. Cuke. As the dust settles, Belop is shocked by the force of Jin's attack. Is this even possible? Jin effortlessly overpowers Belop. Belop falls to the ground, defeated. The crowd is silent. Belop's arms are crossed as he struggles to block Jin's attack. His grip starts to waver under the force. Belop lays on the ground, defeated after Jin's attack, as Jin approaches him. Belop weakly questions why Jin stopped. Jin stares down at Belop and asks if he's having fun. Belop cries out in pain and questions Jin's motives. Jin responds, it hurts me more than you think. Belop rises, demanding to know why Jin is pushing him so hard. Jin calmly replies, as you said, I don't know you. Jin's words echo in the air as he declares, caring is a behavior that you can only possess when you become strong. Jin thinks to himself that he does like the situation, but there is a caveat to this. He claims you can't be kind in this hell. Jin tells Bellip to become strong so he can protect others. I'm sorry for doing something so harsh. Servants carrying boxes exclaim in shock, oh my. One suggests to come back later as Jin's training is not over. The servants bring food for Jin. No, it's all right, bring it in. Jin smiles ominously, ready to unleash his full power. Another spar about to end. Swordmaster's Youngest Son episode 15 begins with Jin holding his sword. A monstrous roar echoes as someone speaks. That's why the youngest said, huh? A man replies, yes, patriarch. Someone laughs maniacally, exclaiming, that's the conviction of the youngest, huh? Another adds to this thought. Someone asks if they will take him by force, if that's the case. The man declares that Jin will be given his first mission. It's January 1795. Jin is now a 3-star knight. Many cadets use school holidays to train. As cadets progress, they no longer use training wooden swords. Instead, they will use real swords customized to their liking. Jin tried to find a suitable sword in the family's weapon storage, but failed. Jin recalls Luna offering to pick his sword for him a month prior. Luna holds a sword wrapped in bandages. The scene transitions as she appears to materialize. Jin is surprised to hear that the sword was the Veil's slaughter. Luna says she used it when she was younger. Luna asks Jin what he thinks of the Veil's slaughter. Jin replies, clearly hesitant. Luna, sweating, thinks, I don't think this is the sword for me. Jin replies, I see, that's all right, I was joking. Jin thinks it's a good sword, but it's too heavy for him now. Luna understands and will show him another sword. Luna reassures Jin that she really put a lot of effort in choosing the sword. She considered what would suit him best. Luna declares, that's when I thought of this. Jin sees Barasada being held. Jin looks surprised, unsure what to say about the unexpected weapon choice. Luna states, I think this will suit you best. Luna presents Bradamante, one of the Barasadas from the first patriarch. Jin says, whoa. Luna, clearly teasing Jin, asks if he's uncomfortable. Jin quickly denies it, flustered. Jin asks what Luna is talking about. Luna responds, yes, I do, Luna. Luna looks at Jin with a smile, I want you to remember that in your heart. Luna scolds Murakin, saying to never upset her again. Jin agrees to not let her have a lonely life. Jin agrees with Luna. She encourages Jin to trust his instincts. Jin holds up Bradamante as Luna asks what he thinks. Murakin replies. Luna explains Jin needs to reach 3-star to properly use Bradamante, but notes he's only 2-star now. Jin says he'll reach 3-star soon. Someone grabs Jin's hair, saying Barasada and Bradamante can't be used carelessly. Jin declares he's not a patient person, and he needs 5-star shadow energy in a year. Someone grabs Jin's hair, berating him for devouring shadow energy. He says it's for his sake. Someone scoffs at the book, saying it's so absurd a dog would sneer at it. Hey, someone yells to repeat what was said. Someone shouts for the person to put it down. Gilly asks Jin what's the matter, wondering if something happened. Jin's peer is told that someone wants to explain the strategy himself. Someone replies, is that so? Jin believes it's time to depart after reaching 3-star status. Jin realizes that now that he's reached 3-star, he'll be assigned a mission. Jin tells Gilly to wait with Murakin while he goes to check things out. Jin enters the room to hear he's been assigned a mission from Garen. He's not alone with 10 cadets. The mission requires splitting into 2 teams. It's near Gene Kingdom, close to the Beastman's land and White Wolf Tribe's base. The mission is difficult, given sooner than expected. Jin acknowledges and looks at the map with the details. Jin wonders if his spar with Bellip was reported to his father. With determination burning in his eyes, Jin declares his resolve, that my conviction is rock solid. 3 days later, Jin and his team arrive at the southern border region, ready to search for Semberville. Jin orders the injured to rest at camp. He hopes Semberville is still alive. Jin believes the docile Watertail tribe means no white wolf encounters. He orders Bellip back to camp early due to the snow. Eddington acknowledges Jin's orders to return to camp. Jin then tells the rest of his team to search Zone 13. Jin thinks his father sent him on this mission. It's all going too smoothly for his liking. You guys look poor. The scout gifts a fish, but Jin politely declines. Zone 13 and beyond is the land of the beastmen. Jin studies the map, deciding to confirm all searched areas. Suddenly a voice cries out, "Young Master." Bellop cries out to Jin, "Young Master Jin." He has dire news to deliver regarding their scouting team. Jin demands answers as Bellop arrives. He learns the second squad scattered during an ambush. Bellop explains that the squad was ambushed by humans. 3 are confirmed. They are being attacked by Rungkandle with only 3 people. Jin believes there were more. Jin wonders what could their objective be, why target the second instead of first squad. He realizes they were already attacked. An ominous presence descends. Someone declares the Rungkandles will pay for this attack. Jin orders Bellop to calm down, stating that the blood is still fresh. He notes the lack of bodies. Jin orders Sierra to regroup with Eddington and David. "Let's go, Bellop." Bellop is stunned by the state of the fallen messenger. It's the second squadron, Young Master. Jin realizes Mesa isn't with the ambushers, whose numbers have increased. He orders Bellop to attack after 2 seconds. Jin recalls Murakin's teaching, realizing the shadow energy increases a weapon's sharpness and destructive power. Understood. Jin swiftly draws his blade, cutting through the enemy before they can react. It also thins the presence of the item itself. The shadow energy envelopes Jin, his eyes narrow in focus. What the hell? Jin's blade clashes against the enemy. The sharp attack seems to cut through him instantly. The enemy screams in agony, blood splattering as Jin's counterattack hits. Jin quickly asks if everyone is all right. Bellop responds that they are, but Mesa has been captured. The fallen enemy coughs blood, urging Jin to heal his allies first. He begs for mercy. Jin gives the enemy a choice: speak the truth or die here and now. Jin coldly threatens the fallen enemy, "Keep your mouth shut and die." The enemy begs for mercy, revealing he's part of a group called Kinzello. The enemy says, "Kinzello." Jin realizes that's the terrorist group active when he died. The Kinzello killed the king of Jin, massacring many people in the name of revolution. The enemy reveals that Jin's enemies intended to cause chaos by hurting Rungkandles. The enemy reveals Kinzello's propaganda to advertise their revolution. The order was to capture female trainees alive. Filthy bastards. He vows to use everything he knows. Jin promises to keep his promise. Jin asks how long Mesa has been kidnapped and starts thinking of rescuing her. Jin decides that the kidnappers are near the Beastman's land. He plans to go alone, but they must be 4-star martial artists. The squad argues that 20 enemies is too dangerous for Jin alone. Trainees dying is common, they say. Jin declares he's stronger than they realize. Further opposition is insubordination. Also Bellop. Jin reminds Bellop that he is the strongest trainee amongst the injured squad. "You know what I mean, don't you?" Jin rushes forward, hearing Mesa's desperate plea, "Please, don't let me be too late." A hooded figure appears to represent what's coming for the youngest son. The enemy's forces are 20 soldiers strong, all at the 4-star level, but Jin's skills are also considerable. Jin acknowledges his limits, but rescuing Mesa is still his priority. He prepares a spell to avoid unnecessary conflict. Jin focuses on finding Mesa and casts a wide terrain detection spell. The spell activates, illuminating the forest as Jin searches for any trace of Mesa. The spell indicates their direction. Jin notes they haven't gotten far yet. Jin moves quickly and quietly, following the trail from the spell. Jin is noticed. The enemy recognizes his unique aura and shouts, "It's a Rungkandle pupil." They shout, "Get him!" Jin, unfazed, readies his sword, surrounded by a swirling green aura. The enemies are shocked Jin uses magic. They yell for him to be killed immediately. Jin deflects an attack. He grunts as he prepares to fight. Mesa is behind the attacker. Another enemy appears and shouts, "Back off, Mills," as he throws a fiery attack. A wave of water magic engulfs the fiery attack. Jin, unfazed, continues to advance. HMPH. The enemy's fire attack explodes, but a sword cuts through it. "Who?" the attacker exclaims. A blinding flash erupts as an enemy mage attacks with a powerful ice spell. The enemy shouts about Jin's magic. Below, Jin grits his teeth. Kinzello bastards. Jin observes his enemies' poor tracking skills. They're underestimating me, thinking I'm inexperienced. He examines the scene, deducing they must have met with others and left with a wagon. Jin realizes the enemy will divide Mesa based on their hierarchy. This is my only chance. Jin decides to create a distraction to rescue Mesa, preparing a powerful fire spell. The forest erupts in flames as Jin unleashes his devastating fire spell to create a distraction. With flames engulfing the forest, Jin casts a spell, "If I do this." The enemy notices the sudden inferno erupting around them and exclaims, "There's a fire," so suddenly. The enemy soldiers frantically try to extinguish the blaze. "Where did the fire come from?" Jin sneers at their panic. The enemy leader barks orders, frustrated by his subordinates' lack of firefighting skills. Mages use water and ice magic. The enemy yells, demanding the arsonist be found quickly amidst the spreading chaos. Find him. Amidst the chaos, the enemy scrambles to find a solution, but Jin smirks. "Good, I found a way to get in." Feeling a chill in the air, Jin pauses amidst the chaos. Where could Mesa be? Jin, amidst the chaos, suddenly hears a creaking sound below, a basement. He realizes where they took her. Mesa is shocked to see Jin in this dangerous place and shouts his name, Master. Mesa, bound, confirms she can walk but not run. Jin destroys something, freeing her. Mesa is relieved to see Jin, but he silences her, demanding a promise. "Stop talking, Mesa." Mesa insists Jin leave her behind if things get too dangerous. She repeats that he's too important. Jin and Mesa investigate the basement and notice something odd. Yeah. From above, a figure is spotted, someone from the battle tribe. Mesa is shocked and gasps as she sees him. The figure turns out to be a beast man from the White Wolf tribe. He is extremely muscular and menacing. Mesa blocks the beast man's attack with her body. "Master, I'll stall, so hurry," she cries. The enemy questions Jin. "Are you the one responsible for all this, child?" The beast man glares as Jin declares his lineage. "Yes, I'm Chiron Runkendall's son." Jin demands the beast man reveal his name. The beast man fiercely shouts Runkendall, mocking Jin's lineage. Swordmaster's youngest son continues. Jin is ready for the trials ahead. Back at the Runkendall family house, the Gene Kingdom mission is about to start. He clutches the sword, shadows swirling. "You idiot," Daytona yells, kicking Jin with his aura-infused leg. Daytona yells at Jin about shadow energy overdose and warns him about awakening the sword again. Got it. The hooded figure draws his sword, declaring that his most valuable hunt will begin today. "My name is Kyojito Truka." The reason for this animosity is because the first Runkendall killed their god, the great white wolf Javier. Kyojito screams the name of Aliak, ordering him to bring his soul to peace. Kyojito offers Jin an honorable fight or a shameful death by cowardice. Jin accepts the challenge, unsheathing his sword. Kyojito, in his wolf form, praises Jin for accepting the challenge with honor as a Runkendall. Kyojito proposes a battle for honor and victory. The Truka warrior prepares to clash against Jin. As they clash, Jin's eyes widen, reflecting the intense power of the wolf. Jin struggles to block Kyojito's attack. He realizes that he's up against a true warrior from the White Wolf tribe. Despite being on the defensive, Jin prepares a counterattack, a secret card his enemy knows nothing about. Remembering Luna's pendant, Jin realizes he must become stronger himself. Jin knows that magic is useless against Kyojito. He realizes his 4-star magic is not enough. He realizes using shadow energy will reveal he broke a clan taboo. There's only one choice. Kyojito unleashes his full power, declaring, "Releasing my sword." The battle intensifies. The impact of their swords creates a blinding light. The clash sends shockwaves throughout the arena. Kyojito remarks, "That's a good sword, Runkendall brat. It doesn't match the black sword of your family." Kyojito acknowledges Jin's power, remarking, "But you are stronger than you look." The warrior unleashes his fury in wolf form. Kyojito recalls Jin using his sword. He declares that this will be the end for the Runkendall brat. Kyojito lunges forward, declaring he will offer Jin's soul to Javier's altar. Jin, realizing he's outmatched, thinks, "I have to recall it now." He stares at Luna's pendant. Kyojito suddenly looks surprised and utters, "WH what?" Jin's memories of Luna's pendant flash. The wolf warrior is ensnared in a blue geometric net. Kyojito shouts, I can't see." He is blinded by Luna's pendant's power. Jin recalls the black swords of his family. Until recently, that is. Kyojito collapses, realizing the power of Luna's pendant. Why you? With dazed eyes, Kyojito acknowledges Jin's trick. That was a good fight. Kyojito stumbles, clutching his head. He groans in pain, struggling to recover from the sudden blinding assault. Jin grits his teeth, enduring Luna's pendant's power. Sharp projections burst from the blue light surrounding him. Taunting voices surround Jin, berating his weakness and dishonoring his clan's name. Daytona's shadowy figure warns Jin about the cost of using too little shadow energy. As Jin struggles against the pendant's power, a voice echoes in his mind. Don't you already know what you have to do? Despite the risk, Jin channels shadow energy, struggling to control the wild power. He fights the power surge of Luna's pendant. I can't let it sweep me away again. Again, the voice repeats itself. Jin struggles to breathe, panting heavily after the pendant surge. The blinding pain suddenly vanishes, worrying Jin. Did I get through it? A sudden shift and a new presence. Who's there? Jin wonders, sensing danger in the arena. A Kinzello survivor begs for his life, trembling. Kyojito scoffs, drawing his sword. So you're not Kinzello. A scared Semberville identifies himself. Jin appears, drawing his sword, and coldly remarks, Ah, so it's you. The episode begins. Jin's quest to locate Semberville continues. A terrified Semberville surrenders, declaring his name and clan from the Jan Kingdom. Jin simply replies, Oh, so that's you. Jin introduces himself. Semberville is relieved to be found by a rung candle. He promises to repay Jin's kindness. Jin asks Sember how he was kidnapped by Kinzelo, confused by this revelation. Sember reveals a shocking truth. His lover died 2 years ago. Sember swears he couldn't mistake his lover. Everything was exactly as he remembers her. He blames. Jin wonders if Kinzelo and Bouvard are connected and considers Sember's kidnapping. He must meet Bouvard. Semberville sobs, relieved that Jin believes his story and has listened. Semberville claims his clan will send reinforcements. Jin corrects him, revealing his rescue was for Mesa. Sember vows to remember this day. Semberville pleads with Jin to ask for help if he ever needs it. Gilly congratulates Jin, preparing a bath for him. Jin abruptly stops, his eyes narrowing as he senses something amiss. A smiling man appears, calling Gilly Nabai with dark intentions. His sudden appearance raises suspicion and dread. The man yells at Murakin, who now appears as a large black cat with sharp fangs. Why the hell did you bite me? Murakin in cat form attacks the smiling man who called Gilly Nabai. The smiling man, infuriated, yells about Murakin biting him. He demands Gilly stay out of it, claiming the matter is serious. The smiling man rants, questioning the pendant's purpose. He believes it's being wasted on Gilly. He scoffs, wondering when he'll need the pendant for a powerful enemy. He yells Murakin's name, claiming the pendant is being wasted. Enraged, the smiling man calls Murakin a brat, embracing Gilly tightly. Jin wonders how the man knew he awakened his sword. Murakin responds, mentioning Jin's increased spiritual energy. Jin admits he felt stronger. The man insists Jin should thank Solderit for keeping him alive. He reveals that 9 out of 11 people have died. Jin looks at the man with suspicion, wondering what he means. The man insists they are not that different. The smiling man orders Gilly to starve Murakin. He leaves to prepare Jin's meal. Murakin is jealous. The smiling man continues to question how Jin defeated a white wolf tribe warrior so easily. Anne Runkendall appears, postulating that the white wolf tribe warrior may have been weak. Mayu Runkendall, the 8th flag bearer, appears, commenting that the situation makes no sense. Daytona and Daytona agree, and then whisper if Jin really killed the white wolf warrior. The twins whisper that Jin might be a monster, but this is a stretch. They worry what happens when Jin arrives to intermediate class. The twins are despondent. They both simultaneously say, "How depressing." Yeah, ditto. The Tona twins are sad, and Mayu asks why they're so scared of Jin. A woman with a fiery eye declares that liars' tongues will be ripped out. The scene shifts to a luxurious room. A figure asks how. Another voice responds, "We'll specially loan our slaves for you to use." The intermediate class is composed of cadets ranging from 3-star to 5-star in skill. Some have been there for over 10 years. The figure orders, "You can take them and crush Jin." Another replies, "We have a bad feeling about him too." The long-haired man warns that there will be consequences if they fail. He calls them "my dear little brothers." The smiling man believes his promotion to the intermediate class is certain. He also reached 4-star spiritual energy. It's explained that 6-star swordsmanship means you're an excellent swordsman. Above are very rare. A looming figure is revealed, the demigod realm Genesis Knight. A fist clenches in a luxurious room. The man thinks he'll reach the Genesis rank and go beyond that. The first bridge must be crossed. The smiling man thinks joining the intermediate class will be his promotion. He knows the Tona twins are already there. The series cuts to text, "Only strength will work in the intermediate class. I will dominate." The man's eyes glow with a palpable intensity. The words "with power" appear. Chapter 20 starts with the Swordmaster's youngest son ready for battle. Knock knock, a voice calls from within, "Come in." Jin enters the room looking at his mother and asks, "You called for me, mother?" Mary, sitting on her throne, says, "That's right. I heard you safely completed your mission." Mary acknowledges Jin's gratitude. "That's right, according to the report from Petro." Mary slams her hand on the table, looking forward with cold, lilac eyes. Mary tells Jin that a special room is only for future patriarchs. Jin seems hesitant. It might be a great room, but it's just a room. Mary declares she has already decided the matter. After a pause, she allows Jin to leave. "Yes, mother," he replies. Jin stares down, contemplating the implications of the room he is to inherit. Mary contemplates Jin's character, wondering if he has too much greed. Swords surround Jin, indicating future trials. Mary believes Jin realized her test, but inheriting the room comes with consequences. The intermediate training class awaits. A stern figure stands before the trainees. The stern instructor continues, "You will be seen as my faction." The trainees collectively respond with a resounding, "Yes, sir." An elder appears stating, "Attention." His name is Zed Runkendall, an 8-star knight and Siron's younger brother. The trainees stand before the academy. The instructor says the new cadets should learn from the seniors. The stern instructor declares his role and his expectations for the cadets. The elder's statement echoes with daunting implications. Runkendall does not need the weak. Zed Runkendall stares down at the numerous cadets before him. A challenge awaits. The weight of Zed's words hangs heavy. Runkendall does not need the weak. Jin hardens his gaze as he declares it won't be so easy to break his spirit. The Tona twins stand firm ahead. A cadet observes that some might be getting help from Mayu and Anne. The twins brace for the trials ahead. The cadet thinks that some might be getting help from others, but Jin thinks otherwise. A cadet wonders why Jin is approaching them. Another cadet mentions they have Mayu and Anne's support. The sound of impact reverberates as the elder's aura strikes one of the cadets. A surge of power is felt. The cadets are sent flying by Zed. "Is he crazy?" cries a cadet. Zed watches their efforts. The elder's aura strikes down several cadets. A cadet cries out in pain as he's knocked off his feet. Zed observes the cadet's pain and struggle. "The ones who need hazing is you." A cadet questions Jin's actions. He swings his blade, asking for the cadet's name. Kajin Romolo responds as he bleeds out. Two cadets demand Jin draw his sword again. Jin's eyes glow with annoyance, his patience wearing thin. Suddenly, a voice booms, "I'll gladly accept a duel later, be quiet now." Zed Runkendall grabs Jin's shoulder armor. He grins, amused by Jin's defiance. "My cadet." The fallen cadet asks, "So this friend was part of your faction, big brother?" The older cadets are in shock. The trials have begun. Is this battle for hegemony? After Kajin declared his willingness to duel, he becomes part of the Tona twins faction. Jin's actions draw him into the battle for hegemony. Everyone is told to listen up. Jin, empowered and ready, declares himself to all present, inviting any challenge. Zed warns them against any hostile actions. He vows to cut down anyone that displays it, just as he did before. The cadet responds, "Yes, Elder." Zed looms over Jin, questioning his actions in front of him. Jin responds to Zed with defiance. The Tona twins seem shocked by his bold declaration, looking nervously at each other. Zed looks down at Jin with piercing red eyes. "You fought against me," he declares. "That's a very interesting thing to say." Energy crackles as Jin releases more power, ready for any challenge. Zed commands Jin to explain himself. Jin stares forward, unyielding under the Elder's oppressive gaze. Jin declares, "I might cut your head off right here, right now." We're recruiting Korean translators and proofreaders. Join our Discord for more details. The series continues as Jin, the Swordmaster's youngest son, faces new challenges. The mysterious figure challenges Jin, declaring that a fight between you and me, huh? The mysterious figure waits patiently. Based on your response, a voice echoes, thick with murderous intent. The mysterious figure threatens Jin, stating, "I might behead you on the spot." The mysterious figure smirks, unfazed by Jin, ready to strike at any moment. The mysterious figure continues, "I thought of that as you attacking me." The figure's aura flares, his eyes gleaming with an intense, dangerous light. Jin remains silent, staring intently at the figure before him. "So you're unhappy about me hazing the cadets?" The mysterious figure asks why Jin injured a cadet, instead of drawing his sword against him. The figure looks down at Jin, saying Jin doesn't value his life. "Or do you trust you are the patriarch's son?" The mysterious figure states that a rung candle would not sit idly by, while losing your life could be just an instant. The figure questions Jin's actions, asking, "Honor is forever, huh?" The figure laughs, finding Jin's pride foolish. "That bravado makes me your uncle happy." The figure declares he will test Jin, acknowledging him as rung candle material. The figure booms that Jin has shown them who they are, sword fanatics. The figure warns Jin to not forget his identity as a rung candle. The mysterious figure dismisses the cadets, informing them that your training starts tomorrow. The figure continues, saying Jin might be scared of his siblings now. The figure tells Jin to focus on what's ahead and consider the future. With a soft thud, the sword settles into place. "Yeah," Jin replies. Jin calls for Gilly, who replies. She reveals she's begun the hierarchy war with the Tona twins. Jin confirms that his sisters Anne and Mayu back the Tona twins. He admits to hurting a cadet with his brothers. Jin realizes the cadet belonged to his sister's faction because of his brothers. The figure remarks it is strange for Jin's brothers to have strong knights. Jin recognizes that Anne and Mayu are already acting like flag bearers. It's going to be a problem. Jin realizes Anne and Mayu, as flag bearers, could sabotage his team and missions. It could easily get him hurt or killed. Gilly explains high-difficulty solo missions are common, no one will monitor him. He can fight freely. Jin realizes he must be grateful for his sisters while he makes his own achievements. Suddenly, Murakin meows, irritated by Jin. Jin assures Murakin that his missions won't include him this time. There are other tasks for him. Jin wonders what Murakin's other task might be. "I'll tell you next time, lay low," the figure replies. Gilly agrees. The figure tells Jin and the cadets that this is a special privilege. "Our family focuses on power." Jin realizes the trouble his sisters are causing, as flag bearers is more than expected. The figure reveals that the rung candle swordsmanship's form is not fixed on footwork or principles. The figure elaborates that being a Rungkandel means having a blessed bloodline. The figure says what the cadets have learned has been simple, way above the average. The figure announces that everyone will receive a steel ball each now. Jin thinks it's something inside steel fragments. The figure carries the steel ball. He explains that it will help with training. The figure introduces the clear rock. He explains you will hear the sounds it makes when hit. With a loud crash, the cadets are shocked by the sudden display of power. The cadets are groaning in pain. The figure then says this is the next sound. The cadet behind Jin suddenly cries out in pain after hearing the clear rock demonstration. The figure explains how the clear rock sound depends on the strike's strength. The figure explains that the goal is to make a beautiful sound every time. Jin understands the purpose. The figure explains that simple repetition hides the potential for the perfect training. The figure raises his wooden sword, declaring, now the last sound. He then holds up the clear rock. What's the third sound then? Jin's senses are on high alert. He definitely heard rattling sounds from the rock. Suddenly Jin rushes to a cadet, urging him to lie down. Jin thinks, no way, something unexpected happened. The clear rock shatters into fragments, highlighting the raw explosive power. The cadet screams as he is launched through the air by the power. The resulting explosion leaves the cadets coughing, the training room filled with smoke. The cadet groans in pain on the ground. Other cadets ask what just happened. Ho, the youngest sure has good instincts, huh? The figure remarks that if the clear rock is too hard, it explodes. Welcome to Chapter 22 of Swordmaster's Youngest Son, Season 1. The ground trembles as the released energy forms a massive explosion. The cadets look around confused by the blast. One says Jin seems to have good intuition. Turns out clear stones explode with too much force. A voice booms, singling out 3 cadets who survived the clear stone explosion. The uncle says most siblings learned from him, so this is easy. Jin asks how Luna dodged this. The uncle explains that all Jin's older siblings also failed. Jin casually responds that it's fine, then asks about Luna. The uncle continues, stating Luna was hit by the clear stone's explosion like the others. But despite that, a man emerges from the smoke, sword in hand. The uncle explains Luna wasn't hurt because she was too strong. The uncle emphasizes that they must hit the stones until they hear a clear sound. Understood, he asks, getting a resounding yes. Back in the Rungkandel estate, Gilly is greeted by a servant who says, "Milady." Back in the estate, Gilly sits reading as a servant brings her tea. Gilly says, "Ah, Nanny, thank you." The servant asks about what Gilly told her in the past. He mentions the assassination attempt. She explains it's forbidden to assassinate a Rungkandel inside Storm Castle. The servant asks if Jin lied or was mistaken. She thinks both are possible given his young age. She reveals they've been investigating the assassination attempt for 5 years with no results. She trusts Jin isn't lying, but remains uneasy. She continues, the youngest back then was on guard. She reflects, it felt like that. Gilly calmly assures the servant that she is no longer a child, nor weak. Gilly wonders about Jin's well-being during Master Zed's training. She's confident in his progress and endurance. Someone remarks that watching Jin grow is quite fun, as training begins next day. Jin grits his teeth during training, declaring this is the worst training he's had. The 2 cadets hit the large clear stone but still failed. The uncle calls for a 5-minute break. Jin, standing away from the group, thinks this training isn't what he expected. Jin knows he must prioritize his aura's destructive force to pass the training. Jin grips his wooden sword. He thinks that he needs to train his aura more to make up for the strength he lacks. Jin thinks that he should be able to do this. After all, even his siblings could. The cadets are exhausted and question the break. But Jin sits alone, cross-legged with his sword, emanating an aura of exceptional control. An uncle smirks, thinking Jin might break Luna's record, deeming the others pathetic. The uncle tells them to pass the message on. He then says, understood. The Tona twins have already collapsed. Someone watching comments, why the youngest, showing Jin heading back toward the training area. The uncle expresses regret. If only he were born earlier, he hits his desk. 1 month passes and the scene shifts to the intermediate cadet training site. The training stops as the head calls the intermediate class for their first assignment, a bodyguard mission. The leader of the intermediate class details the bodyguard and subjugation missions. The targets for subjugation will be orcs. The man reads his mission, the unprotected zone of the Kurano dukedom. He reads the sortie, he pauses, The man continues reading his mission, explaining there are 25 orcs in total. The man tells the intermediate class that orcs move systematically in groups. A noble yells, "Shut up and stay still, did you forget? This is the Rungkandal clan." A Rungkandal member declares that successfully completing the mission is the only way. The youngest son of the renowned swordsmanship clan continues his journey. Jin practices with the steel ball, swinging with all his might. With a final strike, he shatters the rock into many pieces. He is shocked and wonders what happened. Daytona appears before Jin, ready to attack him. He says shit as he prepares for the sudden battle. Daytona shouts Jin's name, beginning his attack. His sword glows with immense speed and power. Jin coughs up blood and Daytona asks if he's alright, worried. Daytona retreats, apologizing for his immense power. Jin is surprised that his brothers can break the stones so easily, but what was that power he felt before? It's as if the direction of the metal ball is drawn. The sword moves like an arrow. Jin focuses on the metal ball. Even if it comes flying at me, I can dodge it. But what is this sensation? Luna wonders if the feeling Jin experienced is related to her training. Jin prepares to feel the sensation again, wanting to remember it. An announcement is made that a mission has been issued. Jin looks shocked as an announcement interrupts his training session. It's an event at the Bement Empire, no less. They're already bored and nauseous. The other cadets are relieved they don't have to go. A superior scolds Jin's attitude, unimpressed by his sigh. Someone declares they'll show how it feels to want to die instead. Mew and Anne are responsible. The cadet says sorry. Jin's uncle assigns him the mission in Bement Empire. Jin seems hesitant. The assignment is to assassinate a key figure. It's the toy of Talaris, the Ice Castle Master. The Ice Castle stands tall, sprouting from the Western Sea. It is said that Talaris reigns as the 51st Ice Castle Master. The Spider of the Abyss is known for her cruelty. The Ice Castle is independent of the Rungkandal and Zippel families. The assassination target is Alcaro Chenderer. Ice Castle members are his bodyguards staying in the lawless zone. What? The cadets are shocked, realizing the mission is meant for guardian knights, but Jin's uncle thinks it's a bit much. Is it true that the Chenderer family ordered the assassination of their child? Jin accepts the dangerous mission. Jin's uncle is shocked. Why are you? The uncle is surprised that Jin agreed immediately despite the difficulty. Never mind, it's good to be resolute. Jin's uncle mentions that all 3 sorties will be 2 days later. A cadet is worried. Uncle, is Jin really going to mam it? The others agree that Jin should go if he wants to. Hey Jin, someone calls out, ready to speak to him. The cadets encourage Jin to reveal his family name. Jin is annoyed at their concern and downplays their worry. The cadet warns Jin that he'll trample them and tells him not to die. Jin vows to make up their minds by the time he returns. The other cadets realize Jin is serious about the mission and they're startled. Jin smirks, whether you like the sisters or me. Daytona and Daytona are called out, and they respond, wondering what's happening. As the youngest said, he should prepare his mind. If he wants to live long, he'll stop challenging. 2 days later, Jin is told he's going to the lawless Mammoth Zone. Jin acknowledges he needs a disguise. I can't get caught being a Rungkandal. He needs to go through a separate teleportation gate for his mission. The cadets notice Jin's dark expression. They say it's just a farewell greeting. The cadets give Jin a grim send-off. Jin reassures them, promising his return from the dangerous mission. The cadets tell Jin not to worry or get hurt. Yes, young master, please be careful. Jin calmly says, okay, see you later. Someone remarks they're quite cute. Another responds, asking for protection. Murakin warns Jin to not get caught while in disguise. I'm leaving, Jin says as he departs for the lawless Mammoth Zone. Gilly worries about Jin's solo mission. Since Murakin won't be there, it will be a quiet time. He'll bring souvenirs back. Despite the danger, Jin calmly replies, "Okay." Jin turns away, stating confidently, "Then I'll be back." Swordmaster's youngest son continues. The story unfolds with secrets and swordplay. Jin has arrived in Mammoth, the lawless zone. Criminals lurk, yelling for the newcomer. The criminals mock the newcomer, calling him Tonk. Jin stands tall and declares he's in the right place. An immense energy emanates from the group. Jin in the distance looks on, his eyes glowing, intensely focused. The thugs look at each other, surprised. Jin offers them cold water and light snacks with a metallic clang. They mock Jin's calm demeanor, questioning if he's a 9-star knight in disguise. The thug's menacing face fills the frame, demanding Jin kneel before him. The thug leans in, his face contorted, demanding Jin to lick his toes. Blood splatters on the counter as Jin's voice cuts through the silence. "How long are you going to make me wait?" Pandemonium erupts as the thugs realize what happened. "Aha, he's gone," one shouts. The silence is broken. Like Master said, all the crazy humans are gathered here. Jin's thoughts drift to the past. "I hope to repay the debt to you, teacher," he thinks, setting down a plate. A man states he didn't put poison in the food. The bartender eyes Jin suspiciously, questioning his family ties. The bartender offers Jin drugs or a search for someone. Jin's choice is the latter. Through the light, the red-haired figure is revealed, looking for someone. Is there someone who goes by the name of Hister? The bartender nods. "I see. Then I would be grateful if you could recommend a place to stay." The bartender explains that only one place fits that description. Moonlight Well Inn in Western Mammoth is where the kings stay. The bartender directed Jin to West Mammoth. Moonlight Well is where the kings of the streets reside. He's waiting in this dangerous city to attract the Ice Palace Master. The bartender implies he's likely using drugs, and surely Alcaro has guards, being the Ice Palace Master's lover. Before heading out, Jin resolves to gather intel. Outside, a dispute erupts. "Why are you saying that I can't?" A man cries out, thankful for being saved. "I'm lucky I saw him." Outside the inn, the man continues to berate the thugs for their incompetence and weakness. A looming figure berates a subordinate. "When my darling returns, I'll have all your heads." A man yells, identifying himself as a member of the Xanderer family. The thugs talk amongst themselves. "It'd be great if Alcaro died." Jin realizes Alcaro's guards are 6-star or above. Killing him seems easy enough. Jin realizes outright violence would cause problems, thinking, a secret way, Moonlight Well's secret room. He resolves, "Okay." Jin smirks with sharp resolve, hand forward. "I've decided," he declares, his mission clear. The scene shifts to the exterior. One questions, "So how many escort guards are with him?" A figure scolds their henchmen for struggling with Jin. "All of you are going through so much trouble." The covered man confidently declares it will end today, because the young lady will dispose of him. Far from Mammoth, an urgent report is being delivered. I need to tell them the good news quickly. A surge of electrical energy crackles, indicating a power about to be unleashed. The electrical explosion consumes everything. This is Alcaro's end. What will Jin do? A desperate cry rings out. "Young lady," the blast originated from Moonlight Well. The Ice Palace Master is furious at the audacity of the attack. They chose the wrong day. Swordmaster's youngest son, the journey of power, intrigue, and family continues. A swordsman prepares for battle as a cloaked figure observes in the shadows. With a resolute grip and determined eyes, Jin makes a firm decision. "I've decided." Jin finishes using magic to move the Moonlight Well into his room. His power increases with it. Jin plans to make the Moonlight Well's increased power seem external. His shadow energy helps conceal the magic. Jin stands firm, a dark aura swirling around him. Calling down a thunderbolt should suffice. Jin unleashes his shadow energy, a dark force erupting around him. Despite its flaws, Jin proceeds, blue lightning crackling around his hands. No matter how I think about it. He focuses the blue lightning crackling intensely. It's the most plausible method. With a confident smirk, Jin declares, "Summon lightning," as electricity crackles around him. The lightning crashes down, illuminating the surroundings with brilliant blue light. Witnessing Jin's display of power, Gilly looks shocked. Whoa, looks like I picked the wrong day. Suddenly, text appears introducing Ceres and Dorma, the Ice Palace's seven-sword blacksmith and daughter of the master. Others question whether the attack targeted the Ice Palace itself, not just the Moonlight Well. Knowing Alcaro and others are inside, she says, "Let's go." The lightning decimates the area, showing bodies being blasted away by Jin's attack. The Xandera family is defeated. Damn it, who did this? They are shocked. The power of the lightning is insane, leaving the Xandera family devastated. Just what? A man assesses the attack, fearing it might be the last one. Yes, young lady, he hopes everyone is safe. A hand reaches out from the rubble, a voice groaning, "Us." Jin recovers, noting he used all his shadow energy, but it reached 7-star. He avoided fatal injuries because of his pendant. The Ice Palace units survived too. Amidst the rubble and devastation, someone wonders about Alcaro. If alive, this is a chance. Huh. Ceres sees Jin and remarks, "So there was someone my age in Mammoth." A voice yells out, reporting everyone is safe, though some are injured. You got caught up in this attack as well. Ceres orders everyone to gather outside, ordering Alcaro's death if needed. The attack came from one magician. Answering Ceres respectfully, someone wonders if she's the Ice Palace Master's daughter. Jin, concerned, thinks that he may have been seen by the Ice Palace Master's daughter. Jin intends to hide and escape. The guards tell Ceres that Alcaro is dead, their escort failed. Is that so? Good. Ceres expresses her disappointment. I came to save you all trouble dealing with that idiot's temper. Ceres, sword raised, declares the inn now falls under the Ice Palace's control. Ceres announces her presence, revealing herself as Taloris' daughter and Ice Palace commander. The thugs threaten Ceres. Anyone who opposes this will be deemed an enemy of the Ice Palace. The surviving guards argue, claiming the attack is outside their bounds. A bright glow emanates from Ceres. Anyone who opposes this is an enemy. The Ice Palace soldiers discuss, promising compensation for attacks on their headquarters. An officer questions what to do if Jin targeted them. Ceres believes they should take authority. Ceres, eyes glowing, accepts their deference. Ha, fine, do as you wish. Ceres orders the survivors to be searched for. One guard believes it wasn't their doing. One of Ceres' guards speaks out, thinking they brought the attack on themselves. Leave your opposition at that. Someone asks why a kid is still there after being told to leave. He apologizes and says his leg is injured. A woman laughs, telling Jin to roll up his pants after the blast. Ceres applies ointment to a survivor's leg, stating, "Consider it an honor." Ceres brushes off the incident. "Forget it, it's not a big deal. Just making good memories." Ceres says, "Greet the Ice Palace when you think of this every now and then too." After the attack, Jin surveys the destruction. His face reveals his injuries. Episode 26 of Swordmaster's Youngest Son is about to begin. Jin clashes with a formidable enemy, their blades meeting in a burst of light. Jin's blade cuts through another enemy, a monstrous figure falling before him. "That makes 18, he exclaims confidently. Victorious after their battle, the squad plans their return and payback against those who mocked them. Tame it and scut. The squad presses on. Mesa acknowledges the warning. The scattered orcs will be easier targets, Mesa observes. The hunt continues. They believe Jin's power is like divine protection, so they must continue the mission. Focus and vigilance are required. Murakin sighs in his cat form, so they guess they have 7 left. If they catch 7 more, Murakin thinks Jin needs to hurry. Flashback time. I can go home too. On that day, Jin's division received their orc subjugation mission. Jin orders the remaining orcs to travel alone. If you disobey. Jin commands the remaining orcs, a menacing aura surrounding him. I'm going to kill all of you. Murakin, as a cat, is annoyed. That kid keeps making me do things. As Jin faces pressure to finish the mission quickly, an annoyed Murakin has other priorities. I'll ask him for new manhwa books. Murakin in cat form is thinking, in this body I should at least do that much. The soldier is shocked by the sudden appearance of enemies. Where did they come from? The soldier wonders if it was Jin. He would have noticed my barrier right away. The enemy's attack hits with immense force. A shockwave ripples through the forest. The soldier observes the darkening sky. I think it's darker than before. Is it going to rain? The enemy, now visible, is enraged by the attack. How dare someone, they growl. The dark dragon descends, its presence radiating immense power and malice. The dragon questions them, spread their force without my permission. Not a living being but a relic from ancient times, a graveyard giant appears. The dragon recalls dragons eliminating graveyard giants long ago, 2,000 years ago, confused as to why they're present now. The dark dragon declares, I'll finish this in one breath. The dark dragon lets out a deafening roar, the sound echoing through the forest. The dragon's power warps reality. Something sinister is coming from beyond the void. The giant strikes. Earth trembles as the graveyard giant's massive hand crashes down. The force of the giant's blow sends shockwaves through the area and dust flying. Jin stands trying to recover. My whole body hurts. Is it because I haven't used my powers in a while? The dragon thinks this incident, it has something to do with the Zippel family. Murakin reflects on Jin's potential. If the kid grows at this rate for 10 years, he thinks, preparing himself for the future. The dragon is confident in Jin's growth. Soon, he'll be able to go against the Zippel family. The sound of struggling echoes. Someone is inside. Sick Bishkul, there's a problem. My art, the graveyard giant, Buber Gaston exclaims frantically. Another man responds, I've already heard the news. Buber rages about his art being destroyed. The one who beat the giant was a dragon. The man trembles, knowing he can't hide what he did. I personally went to check. The mysterious man decides he should hold a meeting with the Zippel family. The man welcomes Jin back from Mammoth, laughing about the flag-bearer's misfortune. Jin thanks his uncle after returning from Mammoth. The units are dismissed after hearing their superior. Jin's squad is relieved to see him back safe and sound after his mission. Knights discuss the rumors. A magician attacked the inn where the assassination target stayed. Jin is lucky. Knights grumble about Jin's luck and status, despite only being a 4-star. One asks if they'll just let it happen. A knight asks what they should do, knowing Jin is still a rung candle. The knight explains they can't act without Anne's orders. Knights are later seen patrolling outside, perhaps related. The knight is confident they weren't overheard, but a voice ominously responds, I can hear everything. Kajin is asked about his arm. He replies, the team reattached it easily. The knights reassure Jin about the whispers, downplaying their significance. He retorts that he doesn't care either way. The knights argue that Jin's situation isn't his business. Jin smirks, inquiring why he'd want to do that. The knight bluntly states he's being insolent. Another claims Jin is an eyesore to them. A guard spots Kajin. The knight clarifies his insult wasn't due to Jin's insolence, implying a deeper resentment. He feels Jin is an eyesore. The knight praises Kajin's skill, admitting he might be stronger. He questions his underhanded behavior. The knight confidently tells Jin that he can challenge him whenever he wishes. Jin asks if this is really true. The knight commands Jin to raise his sword, stating there will be no mercy. He implies a full-power battle. You will regret this. The knight and Jin clash swords, the impact creating sparks of light. His attacks are heavy, but Jin thinks about the stronger foes he will face in the future. The knight grunts and says, do you see the truth now? You are still. The knight stands his ground, too unskilled to fight against me. The force of the blow causes Jin to grunt. He narrows his eyes, unfazed. Jin realizes I can see it. He is starting to understand the trajectory. As Jin analyzes the knight's movements, he realizes there are infinite possible paths for his sword. The knight, blinded by fury, declares that he'll defeat Jin in 3 strikes. The knight confidently declares he's read all of Jin's moves, claiming victory. Jin responds by calling his claims pointless. The knight follows up with an unconventional uppercut, sending Jin flying backwards in shock. The knight declares his final attack. His sword glows with a bright blue aura. This is it. An overwhelmingly powerful aura surrounds the knight's attack, impossible for a 4-star to block. The knight's powerful attack connects, sending Jin flying back. He is in disbelief and struggles to catch his breath. That attack just now was definitely. The knight smirks, thinking to himself, I know how many years until I reach 5 stars. Jin, surrounded by his aura, is asked if he fooled the knight. The knight denies. The knight explains that he never gets into fights he'll lose. Jin is sent flying. The knights are in disbelief after seeing Jin withstand such a powerful attack. Jin stands back up, catching his breath after the incredible attack. What? It can't be. The knight dismisses the overwhelming aura, downplaying the attack's power. The knight, still in disbelief, manages to mutter, huh. Someone asks if he's saying he was crushed by the youngest. Are you telling us to believe that? Someone questions how a 15-year-old could achieve 5 stars in such little time. The knight is frustrated at his loss and tells Jin to leave him alone. Someone notes that Jin is baring his fangs, not just at them but the whole family. The person on the chair smirks, knowing it'll be someplace he'd come back from as a corpse. He adds, we'll have to mix in some of our kids as well. A maid tells Jin that the Garden of Swords is buzzing with excitement over his recent accomplishments. Jin seems surprised, but then mentions his father and sister Luna. It's rare to be a 5-star knight at 15, there have only been 3. Jin thinks being 5-star in swordsmanship is unexpected. He continues clear rock training. Jin reflects his shadow energy, magic and aura affect one another. Gilly pets Murakin, her cat, as Jin trains. Jin thinks about his shadow energy overload and the path of aura and mana. Jin asks Gilly if she put the flowers there. She did it because the vase was empty and confirms there are no curses on them. Jin realizes becoming a 5-star knight at 15 will make his brothers nervous, especially with Joshua being nominated patriarch. Joshua Rungcandle was raised to be patriarch after Luna renounced her position. With Rosa Rungcandle's full support, Jin is currently solidifying his position. Jin decides it's better to reveal his accomplishments. He expects to become famous around the world. Gilly thinks Jin is complimenting himself and believes he'll become patriarch. His father wants someone other than Joshua. His siblings never satisfied their father except for Luna, but she wasn't interested in the throne. The interim successors to the Rungcandle family became Daytona, Runsha, and Mary. Jin thinks his arrival changed things. He'll get an order like before. Jin believes his father's orders will include a trial. Jin wonders if he can overcome his brothers. Jin believes that his father wants him protected from his brothers. He says he's a special case. Gilly warns Jin that newsletters publicizing his accomplishments will bring unwanted attention from around the world. Jin says a banquet will be held when his father arrives. Gilly must watch Murakin. Murakin in cat form is surprised. He complains about being treated like a child and promises to listen. He then cries about strawberry pie. The maid informs Jin that the butlers have been busy replying to letters. She mentions the Bement Empire's royal family sent one. Jin is surprised. Jin finds it fascinating that the mystics are curious about his recent success. He learns his father's visit is a month away. Jin notes the silence from other young masters, stating they fear or hate him. Jin mentions reputation. A butler rushes to Jin, exclaiming that he has been given a new mission. The butler stutters the new mission is to explore the Kalen ruins. He questions if they're qualified. A voice booms questioning the flagbearers' actions, accusing them of failing in their duty, wondering why they sent the youngest Runkandle to Zippel territory. A loud crash echoes as a figure in a black robe angrily says, "Just what are you bitches?" A figure responds with, "Yes, mother." Runcha Runkandle, the third flagbearer, is revealed in a close-up shot. Ran Runkandle and Vigo Runkandle share that Jin's next mission is to explore the Kalen ruins. He confirms the mission. The voice declares the mission to Kalen is cancelled. Ran and Vigo shout, shocked by their mother's interference. Rosa silences them, enraged that they only think of killing Jin. One asks if it's weird. Runcha is angry about Rosa's choice to protect Jin. She questions her mother's decision to interfere, asking, "What?" The figure scoffs at the idea of canceling the mission. They argue that both their parents encouraged sibling rivalries, which served a purpose within the Runkandle family. Rosa states everyone here grew up with competition. Runcha agrees, mentioning her own intermediate rank missions. The matriarch believes competition is a necessary evil. She wonders if they achieved 5-star at 15. Ran and Vigo are shocked. Rosa states Jin is different, implying she would have protected the others too. Rosa declares that Ran and Vigo, as flag-bearers, should be stronger. She says they aren't worth protecting. Rosa tells Runcha, Ran, and Vigo that she doesn't regret what she did. She is disciplining them. Ran asks his mother what she means by return a sword. Rosa questions if Jin will ask her to punish the others or be conceited. She commands him to resolve it. A figure calls out mother. Rosa responds, commanding her son to speak. Her eyes are stern and her expression is unwavering. Jin smirks, stating he likes the mission from his sisters. Someone doubts his awareness about the Kalen ruins. Ran and Vigo explain that the Kalen ruins is Zippel territory, which Runkandle has attempted to seize. Jin understands the danger. Jin states the new mission is perfect for him with a sly smile. A figure questions the mission's true purpose, suspecting it's related to finding out about Jin's mother. The figure denies the mission is related to Jin's mother. They state that his sisters simply aim to harm him. Rosa Runkandle explains they are trying to use their authority instead of fighting him directly. Jin states, "That is what I wish to say, mother." Jin realizes fighting his sisters directly would be a loss, but this mission provides a chance of winning. Rosa Runkandle warns that the Kalen ruins are deadly. She asks if Jin has confidence. The men are shocked by Jin's request, but Jin remains composed and awaits his mother's response. He's gambling on the risk. Vigo questions Jin's decision, offering him a sword if he'll give up. Vigo asks Jin to remain alive until their father returns. Jin tells him to stop, showing his resolve. Rosa states success in this mission rewards Jin with his brother's swords. "You are dismissed." She worried he'd be like Luna. Rosa muses to herself that her intervention seemed unnecessary. Chiron will be pleased. Jin reaches for the door handle, a subtle resolve etched on his face. As Jin grasps the door handle, a voice taunts him, suggesting his composure won't last much longer. A voice declares that the mission isn't solo. Jin thanks his sisters for their consideration with a subtle look of determination. Jin closes the door behind him with a promise, "Then, I'll see you again." 3 figures introduce themselves, one stating I'm Mile Hass and another I'm Lima Hass. One of the 3 figures, seemingly apologizing, states his honor to battle alongside Jin. Another says the same. As the Hass siblings express their honor, Jin realizes they are from Anne's and Mayu's faction. He suspects a setup. The briefing begins. The mission is retrieval the Kalen ruins for 4 guns. Once it was a place of thousands, now it is Zippel territory, its Phalon kingdom. Kalen was discovered by the Zippel family centuries ago. They slaughtered and enslaved its natives. Now they claim to respect them. The briefing papers only show part of the truth, as they are slaves, not allies. The natives are ignored and oppressed. The Zippel family manipulates them. However, the Zippel family of the past would go too far with anything. The key lies with the mirror artifact hidden by the natives. It is a top secret among the Zippel family. Thanks to the journalist's work, the atrocities were tied to an artifact. After testimonies, its name was revealed. The Fountain of Mana is a rare artifact, capable of raising one's magic power just by looking at it. Jin is determined to obtain the Fountain of Mana before the Zippel family does. The objective is the artifact within the third warehouse. Enemy magicians are returning. They assess the challenges. Surprise attacks are simple, but detection magic exists. Jin nods, acknowledging his sister's advice. All right, thanks. He's checking his equipment, preparing for the Colin ruins. The leader briefs them a rest then a surprise attack in an hour. Jin confirms they're given healing potions. Outside, under the night sky, the group gathers, ready to face the perils of the Colin ruins. Now then, Jin begins, steeling himself for the challenges ahead. Jin covers his face, telling someone he'll go alone so they can sleep. Gilly gasps in shock. Gilly suddenly gags, declaring that she was poisoned. Jin's ally says it's a sleeping pill and that she's overreacting. The team collapses to the ground, seemingly unconscious. I would have suspected you less, Jin thinks as he mutters, what? Jin walks into the night, pondering, I wonder, is it only natural for a dog to follow its master's orders? The cover shows Jin with his sword, as well as a mysterious hooded figure. A figure emerges from a glowing gate with a foreboding feeling. It's only natural for a dog to follow its master's orders. Inside, two guards stand watch, one yawning boredly. That's why he mutters, his shift clearly dragging on. The man grins, asking if they acquired the wine. Suddenly, the train car explodes from an attack. The guard cries out, collapsing in pain from a sudden attack. Who are you? He asks with concern. The attacker's cold eyes focus on the carnage he has wrought. A vortex of energy swirls, the destruction is complete. A guard screams, engulfed in flames. The attacker observes the damage with a cold gaze. Only two. The attacker stands over the bodies. It doesn't seem like there are any other guards outside either. He pauses. He breaks the simple lock with ease, finding no magic protection. The Zippel family doesn't consider this important. The attacker is excited. He is planning to enter inside the train. Let's have a look inside, shall we? The attacker recognizes the magic circle on the floor. It discerns bloodlines and demonic beasts. The attacker examines a bloodstain on his blade next to a fallen guard. The magic circle did not activate. He declares he won't leave his own blood. It looks like it has been a success. The attacker muses that the first layer of magic was pretty simple. He asks, now where's the artifact? The attacker realizes the blood magic circle activated even with human blood. Something went wrong with his plan. The attacker realizes his plan went awry as he faces demonic creatures, which means he was diseased. The attacker realizes the blood magic circle activated because, or he wasn't human. The attacker is annoyed that the blood magic didn't work as planned. Wind of silence. The attacker realizes he needs to change tactics. The demonic creatures charge him. However, the attacker realizes avoiding a fight is now impossible with these demons. With blinding speed, the attacker lunges, his blade aimed true. The demonic creatures won't know what hit them. The attacker roars, battling the grotesque demonic creatures. He looks down at the demon's face. The demonic creature screams in pain. It looks like the attack hit home. One of the demonic creatures roars in pain as it's being cut in half. The attacker is visibly frustrated. Damn it. He is now forced to use his magic sword. The demonic creature pauses in the battle, surprised. It seems you know that aura is a dangerous power. He cuts one of the demon beasts with his sword. The aura blade glows. The attacker is shocked to see the demon is healing. It can regenerate, he exclaims. With the demons dealt with, the attacker finds himself within Zippel territory. Countless magicians pass through here. Through it all, the attacker remembers the natives are oppressed, these monsters. The attacker wonders if they are living golems. He thinks creating living golems is a grave crime. The attacker realizes the Zippels use Colin ruins for forbidden magic research. These golems are low-level automatons. The attacker knows that golems keep moving even after taking major damage. He must find and destroy their core. The attacker knows golem cores hide in one of three places. If so, then first. The attacker screams in pain from the magic that injured him. Grah. The attacker clicks his tongue in annoyance and readies his sword. He has no time for these regenerating monsters. The attacker realizes the demons are not getting weaker. If not its head then. The attacker has narrowed down the artifact's location. There's only one place left. The attacker unleashes a blinding light, creating a blast of power to destroy the core. The attacker faces a new threat. It looks like a person. You'd do such a thing to your fellow man. The attacker's sword shines brightly as the light approaches. The demonic creature is shocked by the speed of the attack. The attacker prepares to strike, but the golem has located the core and is moving. The attacker senses the magic's imminent release. Please, kill me, the golem telepathically says. The attacker says, very well then, as he is standing above someone's body. Chapter 31 of Swordmaster's Youngest Son begins, as the story unfolds. Jin steels himself. Now is not the time for anger. He stumbled upon a terrible Zippel family secret. Did his sisters know? He thinks even revealing Zippel's secret to the world won't matter. They'll just deny it. He reflects on the gravity of creating living golems. First, I'll secure the evidence, he resolves, then continue my mission. Jin realizes the Zippel family could interfere with the investigation because of their power. I can't solve this now. Jin realizes the lack of strong magic implies that only a few know the truth. The security magic is simple. Jin observes the golems. The one on the bowl is quite complex. He notes the effort needed to dispel the magic. Jin thinks that even if he tries to expose the Zippels, they'll cover it. Jin realizes why the security was so lax. The Zippel family had no fear of outsiders. He unleashes his own magic, a swirling mix of blue and orange. Jin unleashes a torrent of magic. I'll bring some heat with me, he declares. A massive flame explosion erupts, bathing the secret chamber in orange light. Someone shouts, "What are you wenches doing?" sending Jin to Zippel territory. Someone shouts, "He's a kid 10 years younger than you. Why did you do that?" Luna looks at them. Do you not know why? Luna is annoyed by their question. And what if I'm asking because I really don't? Luna pauses then states, you should be ashamed because you are flag bearers. The mysterious hooded figure explodes with rage, shouting, what gives you the right to do this? Jin succeeded in his mission at Colin Ruins. He knows his mother now knows as well. His fist clenched, someone angrily notes they inadvertently helped Jin advance. Now leave. The figure warns the two flag bearers. From what I've seen, Jin isn't all that merciful. The hooded figure is inside Luna's home and states, things did get derailed at some point. Luna calmly looks at them with a cool glance, but you're my little siblings. Luna retorts, an adolescent phase at my age. A teacup rattles softly. As one pours tea, they comment, young Master Jin isn't the type to forget. Those two aren't a match for him, right? She asks if they mean the sibling that tried to assassinate Jin. It wasn't the two young ladies. Someone agrees it wasn't Mary, Yona, or the Tona twins. The suspects are Joshua and Dippus. The focus shifts to Ran, Vigo, and Luncha Runcandle. They are harder to investigate. How will Jin navigate this? Lady Luna sips her tea, remarking, of course, the other three have a firm foundation. Someone advises caution, sipping tea, there's a higher chance we'll get a headache. A wise decision, miss. Jin returns home after his Colin Ruins mission. Gilly, Murakin, I'm back. Gilly hugs Jin, relieved he's back from the Colin Ruins. Young master, I'm really glad you came back safe. Murakin in cat form asks if Jin made his report properly. Take a look at this, you two. Holding a jar with a strange blue rock inside, the voice says, it's a golem heart. Lady Luna sees the golem heart in the jar. Did you find this at the Colin Ruins? Murakin is annoyed. First a cemetery giant and now this golem. What are those Zippel bastards scheming? Jin confirms, you said the ruins were in their territory. That's right. Jin thinks he needs to directly question someone. What in the world is going on? Jin knows what must happen next. Someone from Zippel needs answering. Lady Luna hopes to find the Fountain of Mana while Jin causes trouble for Zipples. All right, I'll make time somehow. Kajin and the Haas brothers returned, but Anne and Mayu exiled them immediately. It's June of 1795. Jin's clear stone training concludes with a final strike. Now only the Tona twins must attend. Someone wonders if Siron wants to make Jin a provisional flag bearer already. You need to act alone. Finally, he's free from his duties. Jin smiles without worrying about others and can now focus on himself. Someone is shocked by Jin's actions in the Garden of Swords. It's his fighting spirit, it's not normal. Even as a child, deep regret was evident in his eyes at Storm Castle. Despite efforts to conceal it, Jin's true nature surfaces to others' concerns. Jin recalls his father's expectation of ruthlessness and his rival's attempts to restrain him. He succeeded, the mission is complete in Kalin ruins. Despite repeated attempts by his siblings to kill him, Jin survived, achieving 5-star knight status. That one wolf tribesman proved something important with his final stand. Someone questions whether Jin truly defeated the white wolf tribesman alone. The patriarch confirms. Someone thinks that Jin is a fun kid. They plan to ask him something. The white wolf patriarch approaches and the tribe members salute him in respect. He is a respected leader. 2 figures await, they have been waiting. The patriarch congratulates Rosa Runcandle. The patriarch responds that Jin prepared for the white wolf fight himself, so he didn't have to interfere. Someone states that the guests will be overly conscious of someone. It makes things difficult for their children. The patriarch acknowledges Rosa's success and invites everyone inside for food. The patriarch summons Ran and Vigo. He awaits their answer, yes, father. Someone asks if the swords were a gift. They respond that Jin stole them. We agreed if he succeeded in Kalin ruins. Someone laughs, acknowledging Jin's cleverness and expecting a future challenge. Make sure to steal it back. The patriarch watching Jin thinks to himself, sometimes I wonder if he really is my son. The patriarch asks if it's Jin's first banquet, to which Jin replies, yes, father. Jin remembers attending banquets held by other families in his past life. This is his first time at the main branch. He is now the guest of honor at the banquet next to his father, after dying once, of course. The patriarch states that Jin's recent accomplishments are significant and noteworthy. Jin calmly replies, thank you, father. Someone places a hand on Jin's shoulder, I'd guess around 1,000. The patriarch acknowledges that the numbers have increased by 200 in 7 years. Do you know what that means? The patriarch states that the Runcandle family power has grown in 7 years. The patriarch thinks his family's rise is due to his status as Genesis Knight. This means someone believes that people here might betray the Runcandle family. Someone acknowledges that the family's power is tied to the patriarch's influence. The Zippel family is their major rival. Someone thinks that the gap between the families would widen if the patriarch disappears. If the Zippel family oppressed them and pushed them into a corner, he would abandon the family. The patriarch's stern expression hardens as he speaks. What? The patriarch claims he has no intention of dying a worthless death. Also, he requested to review the Runcandle's commission contracts, as only flag bearers are authorized to read them. Someone is talking about a mission with a gambler herald's daughter. She hasn't paid her fee yet. If a patriarch isn't a Genesis Knight, then everything relies on the next leader. That's correct. Someone states that they aren't the only ones with weaknesses. The Zippel family is just as bad. I'm sure that's true. Someone is thinking playing the villain role is the Runcandle family's job. The patriarch thinks he'd abandon the Runcandle family to seek revenge against the Zippels. Revenge, you say? I see. The patriarch reflects on the need to stay alive for revenge. That isn't too bad. The patriarch expresses his desire to see Jin potentially overthrow the established order. The patriarch tells someone to remain after the banquet. He wants to talk. An urgent call echoes, demanding the patriarch's attention. He asks what the disturbance is from inside. A guest has arrived uninvited. The patriarch is surprised by this disruption. The patriarch is disturbed by the intrusion. He wonders, an uninvited guest. It can't be. With another chapter available, Jin's adventure in the Runkandle family continues. A panicked aide rushes in shouting, "Lord Patriarch," alerting Siron to a disturbance. Siron replies, "What's the matter?" Siron is shocked. "What, is it the Zappels?" he asks, clearly surprised by this revelation. Siron fumes, declaring Andre Zappel an imprudent bastard. He orders his aide, Heinz, to deliver a message. Siron reflects on his actions, admitting Andre Zappel's visit was discourteous, but denying the second-in-command entry. "Do you think my treatment is harsh?" Siron reflects that it's refreshing when Andre lets emotions get the best of him. Siron declares Andre will obey his commands, or return home missing both his legs. Siron states that it is now time to start the banquet. Siron thanks everyone for coming and introduces himself as the Runkandle Patriarch. The room applauds. Siron states with a smile, "As you all know, there are only 2 rules." Siron establishes the first rule: those who fight will be taken to the arena by the Guardian Knights. This gathering isn't just a normal party, where polite jabs are exchanged before departure. Siron explains that as long as the rules are followed, they can fight. Now, enjoy yourselves. Those in attendance are amazed by the Runkandle family's straightforwardness. Siron tells Jin that goes for him too. Siron adds to the rules: do not challenge those weaker unless insulted. Siron warns Jin if he loses, he'll take back Bradamante and even Gilly. Jin acknowledges Siron's warning. Siron thinks realizing this is the first time he's talked to his father. Siron places his hand on Jin's shoulder. He thinks to himself it was a father-son conversation. With piercing eyes, a voice rings out, declaring that something must happen now. As the banquet is about to start, a declaration rings out loud. The nobles congratulate Jin on his promotion to a 5-star knight and decide to stick with him. The noble replies, of course, asks about Jin's Clearstone training progress. 2 men with intense expressions grin, agreeing to the rules of engagement. "Why yeah, okay." The Ken clan introduces themselves to Jin, recognizing him as the first flag bearer. Some nobles depart, wishing Jin luck with his training. Someone thanks Jin, stating they heard stories of his heroism as a kid. But then another yells out, "Oi, Jin Runkandle." A man named Huger wonders how Jin reached 5 stars at 15. He introduces himself. Jin remains quiet. With a grin, Jin welcomes Huger and responds, "Ah yeah, nice to meet you too." An older noble asserts his seniority despite Jin's Runkandle lineage. Proud but insulted, he declares Huger's actions disrespectful to others. Another noble calls out, demanding Jin show more respect for his seniors now. Everyone is surprised. The nobles mention the Ken clan, Dragon King Knights, and Black King mercenaries. They declare Jin should apologize to his seniors. Someone remarks that since he lectured Huger, he'll let it slide. An elder noble apologizes for Huger's outburst, hoping Jin will accept the apology. Jin responds, "Of course, Sir Huger." Rosa comments on Jin's talent for making enemies at such a young age. It would be nice if he acted normal. The nobles toast Jin and Luna as one states, "I am Runkandle's representative today." Luna asks if Huger challenged Jin to a duel. She notes that Huger looked at least 6-star and the Tuco clan is watching. Jin thinks to himself if someone could teach him, he should keep them close. He says swordsmanship is most important. Someone remarks Jin is talented, wondering who tried to assassinate him. It was a sibling. A noble states the banquet is to congratulate Jin, but isn't for him. Another noble mentions going to do something fun. Before Jin can react, a hand gently touches his head as a voice says, "Excuse me." Luna tells Jin by making an example, people will fear him. "I'll see you later." As Luna departs, one noble expresses his envy. He exclaims his desire to spar with Luna as well. Someone excitedly declares his intent to write a poem for Luna. "Can't you shut up, Bouvard?" another calls out. Margiela Ivliano, Vishukal's younger sister, says to not be so harsh and respectful. Bouvard sighs, calling out to Margiela. He says he'd gladly be her feet and is thanked. Jin sighs to himself, confessing, "It's hard acting like the master." Ignoring the nobles, Jin wonders where the Zappels are. He's annoyed he must search for them. As the drink spills, someone contemplates Luna's power, thinking, could this young lady? Cirrus and Dorma interjects. requesting a drink with the rising star of Rungkendel clan. The individual prepares to address Jin, as the banquet is filled with tension. Before Jin could answer, an unexpected introduction rings out. It's an honor to meet you, young Master Jin Rungkendel. Chapter 34 of Swordmaster's Youngest Son is here. Jin is annoyed. He asks where the Damsapel family is. Must he personally search for them? A man touches Luna's pendant. A powerful surge of energy pulses from it. Could this young lady? The man recognizes Luna and offers her a drink. Oh, you are Cirrus and Dorma of the Hidden Palace. The man pours a drink. He admits he is the same age. He's jealous of the Rungkendel physique. He states the Hidden Palace lineage is blessed, saying the master values her. He acknowledges the downside of many siblings after the man's envy. She recognizes me, why no mention of Mammoth? Cirrus speaks to Jin politely, then asks about his leg. A sinister aura surrounds her. Cirrus hesitates slightly, then explains someone helped with medicine. Cirrus comments on Jin's shamelessness. She questions him about his visit to the Moonlight Well. Jin demands an explanation. Cirrus explains her subordinates failed to find the magic terrorist. She suspects Jin now. Jin argues, as a Rungkendel, he seems an unlikely suspect, but Cirrus believes it changes everything. The Hidden Palace thinks he targeted them because he hired a magician. Jin thinks Cirrus isn't entirely wrong about him. He did injure them. Jin argues that the accusations are just a hypothesis. Cirrus has had enough. She threatens violence. Cirrus's rage peaks. She flicks her finger and says she wants to spit on Jin's face. She challenges him to a duel. Cirrus recalls her father's warning about fighting weaker opponents. She questions her actions. Jin grins, accepting Cirrus' duel challenge. If you want to fight, I accept. Cirrus asks if Jin came for their duel. Jin confirms and dismisses the onlookers, only needing medics. He asks for 2 swords. Cirrus demands Jin make a promise before their duel begins. Jin asks, what is it? Jin agrees he wants all information on Mammoth, no lies. Cirrus counters, if she wins, they never met. Cirrus yells to Jin, come at me, ready to strike with all her force. Cirrus's eyes glow with cold intent. Jin barely gets a this is before the attack hits. The Endorma lineage's special ability. Cirrus unleashes a barrage of myriad ice blades. The icy blades explode around Jin as he smirks. I didn't think you'd use that right away. Cirrus questions what Jin expected. Jin snorts, that's not my problem, and begins his counterattack. Blades of ice explode everywhere. Cirrus' myriad ice blades' power is unleashed with cold fury. Cirrus hears and thinks, Jin Rungkendel, he is really a 5-star knight. The icy assault makes it look as if Jin is barely blocking, but this is not enough to take him down. Cirrus knows she can't prolong the fight. She'll switch things up when Jin counters. Cirrus is still a 4-star knight. Ice blades fill the arena. Jin realizes Cirrus will change the flow of battle. Jin recalls a secret technique from Storm Castle to handle this situation. He found many there. Cirrus' face is shadowed. Her malicious intent is amplified with her evil smile. Cirrus shouts as her ice blades hit Jin, it's over, Jin. The force of Cirrus' myriad ice blades attack creates a massive explosion. Jin grits his teeth as he endures the myriad ice blades. Is this condensed aura? Cirrus's eyes glow with power as she unleashes an overwhelming surge of ice energy. Cirrus focuses, pushing beyond her limits. Is that all you have? Swordmaster's Youngest Son continues. The cover shows Jin preparing for battle and a hooded figure looms. Jin is shocked as a powerful blade of ice crashes towards him. Damn it, Ceres, he screams, recognizing the power. Jin realizes that the destructive power of the attack is too much for Ceres to handle. If she fails to evade, she'll die. Ceres kneels, bracing herself with the storm blade as Jin struggles to stand. Ceres' eyes glow with power as she questions her own fear of death. Her eyes glow, reflecting immense power. Jin, concerned, asks, are you all right? I almost killed you. Jin apologizes internally as Ceres ignores his warning about the storm blade. Ceres grits her teeth, determined to endure as a voice echoes, she's too young. Ceres argues she would have evaded the attack herself if she was in Jin's position. Ceres asks him to not talk about it. Ceres holds a healing balm thinking, I don't know if this will comfort her. She notices you have an injury on your face. Ceres touches Jin's face, stating she'll repay him for saving her life. Ceres approaches Jin. She proposes that their meeting today is their first. Ceres turns, see you tomorrow. Jin is left speechless, contemplating the implications of her words. The next day, people are fewer than yesterday at the ice castle. He smirks holding a glass of wine. Fewer people, I can meet the Zipples. The man learns the Zipple guest's age range and smirks, ready to compare skills. The man plans to become a reserve flag bearer, giving him free time. He can investigate Colin with Murakin and locate the Fountain of Mana. The man vows to stop the Zipple's mass production of magicians. Murakin, in cat form, thinks, I'll be able to prevent it. A noble questions why there's a cat at the Rungkendel banquet. Another asks the cat, where's your owner? The noble asks, let me see, your name is Butterfly Rungkendel. Gilly nervously laughs, yes. The mysterious girl reveals she followed Murakin to find Jin Rungkendel. She searched for him. Jin turns around to see the mysterious girl from yesterday holding Murakin in cat form. Hooray you, he asks. The girl calls Jin a weirdo and calls for Butterfly. Jin asks if she remembers anything, but she says nope. The girl repeats her first encounter with Jin, but he doesn't remember. My name is V, she says. The man, named Veridin Zipple, is bothered by the mysterious girl's presence. Veridin questions how Jin could become a 9-star magician and Zipple patriarch. The mysterious girl says she looked everywhere for Jin yesterday and again for 2 hours today. She states that magic is forbidden here. The man asks if Jin is lying about not remembering her. He says it's great to see Jin. The man praises Jin for being 5-star 5 years after their last meeting. The man raises his finger, exclaiming he's a 6-star magician, bewildered at Jin's reaction to Veridin. The man smirks, internally remarking that Veridin's swordsmanship is below him. He can't believe Veridin is only 6 stars. The man thinks that if he were Jin, he'd be a 7-star magician. The man muses that Jin is hiding his power. Veridin only reached 6 stars at 18. Veridin tells Jin to keep quiet. Jin replies, you are saying the same thing as my father. A man speaks from behind a pillar, that, because of me. The old man says yup. He then commands Jin to leave quietly. Jin responds, aren't you being too cold? The man questions terrorism. The Hidden Palace's 7 swordsman says, I always keep my word. Jin seems to think, weighing the words of the old man. Elsewhere, another man mutters, what a fool. A man calls Jin and asks when Lady Luna will return. Jin seems unbothered by the question. A man holds a love letter for Luna, declaring it's filled with all his love and she'll understand. The man drinks his wine, confident he's better than he looks. Another man dreams of taking Jin's place. The man upstairs says he will become my brother-in-law. Downstairs, Jin gasps, young master. The man is enraged that Jin mentioned his sister's name and called him brother-in-law. He says Jin needs a beating. A man being beaten says, young master, please stop this. I simply expressed my love. The man shouts, wondering how Jin could do this to a guest. He complains he praised Jin's sister's beauty. The cover art for Swordmaster's Youngest Son shows Jin in a fighting stance. The new chapter begins as Jin continues his training amidst rising conflicts. Jin questions why he's being treated this way for complimenting Luna's beauty. He worries if his past is catching up. Someone's powerful magic is crushing Garen. He doesn't understand why this is happening to him, but the enforcer declares we'll proceed. The enforcer's words echo with a hand-to-hand fight. Garen collapses onto his back, his mind reeling from the declaration of violence. A noble gasps Bubear. His sister asks what is going on. Bubear and Jin are dueling, they have to watch closer. Someone yells encouragement, but Luna is stunned. Why is he dueling Bubear? The man is on the ground. Cirrus Endorma interrupts with, screw off, unimpressed by the Ice Palace heir's greeting. An announcement booms. Young Master Jin, the rising star, will duel. A man wonders who is facing Jin, assuming he might be a recluse master. He accompanied the Ibriano family. Bubear wants a formal introduction before the fight, but is promptly silenced. As the dust clears from the clash, Jin lies on the ground looking up. I don't even want to know your name. Buber screams as Jin's fist, crackling with power, connects with his face. Someone senses Jin's powerful aura. He is considered a 6-star knight. Someone comments he chose a strong fighter. Buber thinks it'd be a shame if Jin broke. He laughs at his meager abilities. Buber is sent flying. I'll have you crying on the ground, begging for forgiveness, he shouts in desperation. Buber is knocked off his feet, barely muttering an acknowledgement of his weakness. Jin unleashes a flurry of blows, his speed overwhelming Buber. Buber can only cry out in shock. Someone exclaims that it's over, praising Jin's skill in the duel. Bishkul is called on, who peers in with a puzzled look. Some onlookers are confused by Jin's actions. The victor was clear, why beat him up more? Another recognizes Margiela. A man admits Margiela is stronger than Jin. His younger sister is disappointed and seeks to teach Jin a lesson. A man questions if he will fight Jin. He sighs and agrees to fight. Before Jin can deal more damage, a new voice interrupts. He tells Jin to fight him instead. A man cloaked in shadow strides forward, his destination unknown and purpose veiled. The cloaked man announces he is Bishkul Ibriano, ready for a 7-star knight duel. Bishkul thinks fighting Jin will be a good experience, maybe even educational. Bishkul thinks Margiela is a funny young lady, even putting him in danger to watch. Jin finds this obvious. Bishkul says he understands how Jin feels, as he cherishes his own sister. Bishkul clarifies that Jin has misunderstood. Buber is not a servant, a companion. Bishkul explains Buber only wanted to help his sister. He asks to overlook his actions. Jin thinks to himself, that guy just now. Could it be the transformation sorcerer Buber Gaston? Bishkul seems aware of him. Someone wonders about Bishkul and Buber's relationship. He thinks they have secrets about his past. He's found Buber, but the fight with the 7-star knight has only raised more questions. Bishkul prepares to fight Jin. Buber thinks the power is too fast. This is something I cannot comprehend right now. Young Master Jin is being pushed back. Onlookers are surprised that Jin can hold his ground against Bishkul. The Ibriano family's swordsmanship is known for being sly and unconventional. The narrator describes the styles. The Ibriano family's sword is a sly snake. The Rungkendel family's sword is a charging rhinoceros. Despite Bishkul holding back, Jin notes he's still fighting a 7-star with his 5-star skills. Bishkul stands ready, sword in hand. I'm slowly reaching my limits. During their sword exchange, Bishkul's eyes glow with hidden power. The same thing I felt then. Bishkul acknowledges Jin's strength. His eyes shine, considering Jin a worthy opponent. Jin and Bishkul clash swords, their power reverberating outwards in the arena. The intensity rises as Jin's clash with Bishkul releases a shockwave. The battle is far from over. Jin unleashes a torrent of energy, his power reaching new heights in the arena. The battle pauses. Jin turns away from Bishkul, a swirling aura surrounding him. The air is thick with anticipation. The announcer declares the winner, but the fight between Jin and Bishkul continues. Someone calls out Bishkul's name as the fight intensifies. Jin's clash with Bishkul is about to begin. Jin's next opponent adjusts his collar, face clouded with unknown thoughts. Bishkul is analyzing his opponent. Swordmaster's Youngest Son returns for Chapter 37, with more drama and action. Jin counters the assassin's attack. The force of the impact echoes around them. The clash of blades unleashes a shockwave of energy. Blue aura crackles as the force rips through the air. Energy surges around them as Jin and the assassin's blades meet. The victor is about to be decided, as Jin struggles against his hooded assailant's relentless attacks. The hooded assassin clutches his bleeding throat. He is revealed to be Bishkul Ibriano. Bishkul is shocked at his failure and clutches his throat in disbelief. An aide yells out to bring Jin inside after a sudden loss. Bishkul realizes Jin saw through his swordsmanship. He felt a sharp graze across his throat as the sword broke. The assassin thinks that if Jin had reacted sooner, he would be dead. Jin is carried away on a stretcher. He thinks, "You're a scary guy," thinking about Bishkul's true strength. Jin coughs up blood. He is lying in bed. Gilly is at his side looking worried. Jin angrily yells for the cat to get off of him as it scratches. Jin finds himself in his room. He wonders if he fainted after his battle with Bishkul. "You're awake, young master." Jin calls out to Gilly asking how long he's been out. She answers 2 days. Gilly comforts Jin, saying the fight with Bishkul has been the talk of the town. It's all thanks to his heart sword. Important figures comment on Jin's progress in the Runkendel family. Meanwhile, Luna reflects on the heart sword. Jin reflects on his training, remembering its initial confusing nature. Don't ever open your eyes. Jin thinks that the heart sword is only activated in extreme situations. Jin sits in his room. Besides that, I gained a lot of things from this banquet. The mysterious figure thinks, I confirmed Veridin's status when I was in Zippel. The figure reveals, I discovered that Buber Gaston and Bishkul Ibriano are acquainted. Jin thinks that he needs more information. Meanwhile, Gilly looks at the flowers and wonders who left them. The meaning of the flowers is a never-ending fight, and Jin thinks that Ceres wants to fight him again. Gilly asks Jin if it's the first time he's received flowers. She reveals the Patriarch wants to see him. The Patriarch thinks to himself, I think the time has come to prove your worth. After a while, Jin asks himself, where's father? He wonders about the Patriarch. In the dead of night, an unknown figure approaches an ominous temple building, shrouded in mystery. The mysterious figure within the temple hears a voice say, "You're here." The man comments on Jin's relaxed clothing. He asks if Jin knew he'd have to leave. Jin confirms his departure is soon. The Patriarch thinks to himself, seems like he liked it. He thinks Jin is easier to read now. The Patriarch asks, do you know where this is? He reveals it's the mausoleum of Runkendel heroes. The Patriarch says Jin knows this hallowed ground well, it is for family heroes. The Patriarch asks if Jin knows Temur Runkendel. The figure reveals Temur Runkendel isn't buried in the mausoleum, nor is he in the Garden of Swords. The Patriarch reveals the humiliating pact made with Zippel after the first Patriarch's death. The Patriarch states that all Runkendels born after the first couldn't use magic. He questions Jin about how he obtained his power. The Patriarch recounts, I even lied saying I would use it for the family. The hooded figure thinks about the Patriarch. Yes, he calls me contractor. The Patriarch says it must be unfair to Jin's siblings. Can Jin overcome them? The Patriarch asks if he should conquer the family. Jin says he'd rather see the world but. The Patriarch reveals to Jin that his siblings chose the Sword of Gardens to be acknowledged. He questions Jin's motivations. The Patriarch says he'll give Jin 5 years to prove himself and come back with his reply. With a burst of blue aura, Jin expresses, thank you for everything. Jin, holding his blade, vows to greet his father again after 5 years. The figure asks, did you finish your talk with the Patriarch well? Jin says, yeah, all I need to do is depart. He wonders who he should call for assistance and asks for Gilly. Jin handles the weapon, discovering its unique properties. Gilly speaks, they said it blocks your aura. Jin knows his aura is blocked. He heard about it from the nannies. Jin thinks it's not just these 5 years, but I'll protect you, Gilly. The hooded figure says it's enough he's Jin's reserve rider. He'll regain his strength after Jin's test. Hang in there. Jin looks forward with newfound resolve. The mausoleum stands behind him, a monument to Runkendel history. Jin thinks 5 years, looks like this is the start. His journey begins. With purpose in his stride, Jin steps forward, ready to begin his 5-year journey. Let's go. Jin looks forward towards his journey. See the world, he thinks determined. The Swordmaster's youngest son is ready to deal with any new challenges ahead. The Patriarch reflects on past battles, but cannot undo the ancestor's oath. Still, the Swordmaster believes Jin's contract with Solderit makes him the only hope. The Patriarch hopes Jin can free the Runkendel family from its problems. Jin and Butterfly prepare to open a secret area using magic. They wonder if it was all right for Jin to leave without saying goodbye to everyone. Lady Luna must be disappointed. Jin reassures Butterfly that Luna is carefree, and the cadets are not worth worrying over. Jin responds, stating they need to go even further than that. Butterfly reveals many flag-bearers go to Mammoth first, they seek fame. Reserve flag-bearers must make a name for themselves, alone in the world. Mary Runcandle, also known as Windfury Mary, became a flag bearer by becoming infamous. Jin only has 5 years. Jin seeks to fully master shadow energy before returning to the Runcandle clan. The next destination is the Arkan Kingdom. The question surprises Jin because the Arkan Kingdom is Zippel territory. He remembers the Colin Ruins incident. Butterfly agrees with Jin and states she enjoyed taking out bad guys. She is excited. Jin believes underground auctions are where the real treasure lies. There will be plenty of hidden gems up for grabs. Butterfly warns Jin that they can't use the teleportation gate to the Arkan Kingdom. She only has 10 gold coins. A Runcandle wouldn't be able to gain any support there. Jin assures Butterfly everything will be resolved in Gene Kingdom. Butterfly notices Murakin is about to transform and questions the consequences of being recognized. Murakin shifts back to his dragon form. However, if the family were to realize, what could happen next? With a burst of power, Murakin completes his transformation into his dragon form, ready for the skies. Murakin, now in dragon form, declares to Jin and Butterfly, "Hold on tight." Murakin affirms that he must fly quickly to reach the Gene Kingdom by tomorrow. Jin's eyes narrow, filled with determination for the upcoming auction and challenges in the Arkan Kingdom. Luna watches Murakin fly away, her expression unreadable as she looks out the window. Back in the garden, Luna's eyes widen in disbelief as she sees Murakin carrying Jin and Butterfly. Jin. Luna touches the window, remembering Jin's sudden departure. "You left without saying goodbye to your sister." As Jin and Butterfly leave on Murakin, Luna wishes him good fortune in battle. Deep in the Gene Kingdom, Gilly, now known as Strawberry Pie, is captured. "Strawberry Pie, you all right?" Murakin defends his flying style. Jin yells back. He then notices someone calling out, "Strawberry Pie, take it slow." The man whispers a warning as he covers Strawberry Pie's mouth. Was Murakin only acting strong for appearances? The hooded man states he will protect Strawberry Pie. He tells the kid to get money. It seems Strawberry Pie has been successfully rescued. Phew, a sigh of relief. A man mentions young Master Jin, regretting that he only heard about the banquet after it ended. The man expresses his gratitude to Jin for saving his life, despite it being a commission. He offers his help in return, promising assistance whenever needed. Lost in thought, Gilly pauses near a pond, reflecting on Jin's kindness. When will I meet him again? A voice calls out to Sember. He quietly responds, yes. Before Sember can call out for help, a hand covers his mouth, silencing his words. SHH. Jin hushes Sember, revealing himself as his rescuer from Kinzello's men. Sember thanks Jin for his help. Jin assures Sember he will wait for him. The hooded man demands, "So bring me some gold and money." The blonde man is shocked to see Strawberry Pie with a hooded figure. Huh. The condition to becoming a real flag bearer is to be hidden, but also be strong. Jin must prove his own strength. Runcandle children are naturally poor at first. They're only ever taught how to fight from a young age. Others suffered poverty, but the Runcandle family was a different story. Amidst the feast, it's clear that luxury is not something they lack. With a sigh, the girl muses the Jan Kingdom's food, while resting her head. One of the flag bearers are happy to have such good food today. Isn't that extortion, young master? Murakin asks, confused. Murakin asks if Jin ate too much. Jin, annoyed, tells him to shut up. The large man proudly proclaims his eating habits. Jin retorts, telling him he'd starve without him. The man realizes his mistake, as he meant to refer to a different problem than Gilly herself. He is worried about Gilly. They are going to the Arkan Kingdom, where the Lutero Magic Federation resides. Murakin notes 80% of active dragons are on the Zippel family's side. Flying is a declaration of war. Murakin, in cat form, is told not to transform randomly in the streets again. He pauses, then wonders how the Zippels gathered so many contractors. It's far too coincidental. The guard asks for identification and Jin's group arrives at their destination. So we're already here. He introduces himself as Jin Grey with Gilly Python and claims they are tourists. The guard is suspicious. The announcement rings out, we will soon start the teleportation to the Arkan Kingdom. They were able to enter thanks to the Rungcandle's identification. No problems arose. Thank you for waiting. The announcement states teleportation will start soon, Gilly says Arkan Kingdom. A surge of power emanates as he realizes, but it's now been 15 years. The teleportation is complete as Jin's eyes open. Welcome to the Arkan Kingdom, a sign reads. He thinks back, before regressing, I spent the last year here. He notes that the Arkan Kingdom is very much the same as it was 15 years ago. Jin observes that the city is strangely dark despite the pleasant day. The Tessing bastards are to blame. A voice replies, yes, young master, as Jin and his companions arrive at their destination within the Arkan Kingdom. The guard approaches Jin's group, calling them kid. Murakan complains about the shabby place they are staying in. Jin states he's going in regardless of how bad the lodging may be. The door creaks open. A grumble escapes his lips as the group stands before a hooded figure. HMPH, a wine cellar. The hooded figure is snoring and drooling when Jin asks, are you the owner of this inn? A man eyes Jin and Gilly, noting Jin's inexperience with a sword and labels him a tail chaser. He also wonders if Gilly is their maid. The innkeeper smirks as he sets down 3 drinks. Welcome to Jet's Inn. The innkeeper slides 3 drinks across the counter. Here, take a drink, then pick your room. The innkeeper smirks, that's right, enjoy your drinks when you wake up. It's a new life. The innkeeper attacks the unsuspecting Jin with a mysterious power as he questions Jin's sanity. Struck by a mysterious power, the innkeeper asks what the meaning of all this is. Jin falls to the ground unconscious. With an og, Jin takes the full force of the innkeeper's sudden assault. Jin demands, how dare you give me a poisoned drink? The innkeeper looks horrified, questioning what's happening. A booming voice echoes, you're going to die, as a dark figure looms. The episode begins, continuing Jin's story of sword mastery and family intrigue. The mysterious figure corners the man, his glowing aura heavy with intent. Today you will die here. The episode opens, hinting at greater power as energy surrounds the mysterious figure. The man pleads, please wait, let's talk, but the figure scoffs, talk my ass, radiating dark power. He unleashes a burst of speed, determined to end things swiftly here. Jet, a self-proclaimed high-quality informant, helped Jin settle in Arkan after his exile. This help created a bond between them. Jet repeatedly tricked him, promising access to underground Tessing auctions. He stole everything. Grip tightening, he remembers Jet's betrayal. He reflects, this time things will be different, Jet will pay. Jet's expression changes as he states he won't stay still anymore. Jet boasts of his 5-star status, but Jin replies dismissively, who cares, before striking him down. The sedative takes effect as Jet realizes the ruse. He slumps, it was all part of Jin's trap. Murakan is told to wait by Jin, they should hear what Jet has to say. Jet begs for mercy. With Jet subdued, a mysterious figure appears, looming over him with a chilling proposition. I will ask you a few simple questions. Despite his bravado, Jet is clearly terrified of the mysterious figure before him. Jet confesses to being a scammer and human trafficker. He begs the figure to spare him, promising usefulness. Jet begs for forgiveness, admitting he planned to sell them all. Jet looks up, confused, then is quickly blasted to the ground by the mysterious figure's power. He screams, finally giving the information he was asked about. We learn about the Tessing auction house. It deals in everything, even artifacts. Jet grovels, thanking his savior repeatedly. Someone questions the worth of wasting resources on trash like him. The mysterious figure stands beside Gilly, a question mark floating above his head. As Jet cries, the mysterious figure thinks it's not too late to dispose of him, then decides to trust Jin. The mysterious figure orders, treat him. Jet is left in their care, he is finally starting to breathe again. The mysterious figure thinks, it's tiring acting like this when I know everything. He resolves to keep quiet about regressing. The mysterious figure orders Jet to rest and heal his broken bones. Jet is left with a mysterious hooded figure told to heal. Call me again if you need, said the healer, later revealed as one of Lutero's Federation. Jet holding a mirror is taken aback. The mysterious figure says, now then, let's get going. The mysterious figure declares, We need to go, heading to the underground auction house. The mysterious figure raises an eyebrow at Jet's entourage, inquiring, "Why did you bring so many people today? Are they products?" The mysterious figure demands silence and entry. "They are my guests." The door creaks as the figure's associate opens it. The mysterious figure leads Jet and his entourage into the auction house. Excitement flashes in the figure's eyes. The figure scoffs at the masked men and their accompanying orchestra. "Well, these guys are funny to have an orchestra here." The mysterious figure observes the luxurious auction house. "For gangsters, it's quite." He pauses. "The real boss is someone else." The mysterious figure receives masks and wonders who's really in charge. Jet reveals, "It's someone called Spider-Hands Allah." The mysterious figure comments on the decor, calling the boss an uneducated gangster. The conversation continues, revealing the figure as a 7-star martial artist. He's rumored to be connected to the Runcandles across the sea. The mysterious figure is recognized as a Runcandles. He tells his companion to ignore it, downplaying the situation. But the mysterious figure realizes someone connected to the Magic Federation cursed him. This curse stopped him from wielding his sword. The figure remarks on the 9-star curse stopping the sword technique. He doubts Tessing is capable of such high-level magic. He reflects on his years of searching, 10 at Storm Castle, 5 at Garden. We should investigate. The episode begins, continuing Jin's quest of sword mastery and family intrigue.